Okay, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, here on EP09 Bodybuilding for the coverage of the 2026 Toronto Pro, a two-day event taking place in Toronto, Canada. Guys, we had the prejudging of every single division that exists within the IFBB Pro League, and the show is currently at least 3 or 4 hours behind schedule, if I'm not mistaken. This is a very, very long delay. And if I'm also not mistaken, I believe the live stream just was taken down as well. Refreshed it on a couple of different devices, and it seems that we don't have the live stream anymore either. So this may be the only live coverage of the Toronto Pro currently available online. Just as a disclaimer, I will not be showing any show footage or showing any screen captures. They were very clear during the broadcast that anybody that was caught doing that, well, they didn't say any consequences actually, but they did say that it was strictly prohibited. Strictly prohibited. So I'm going to abide by that. But look, it's this or nothing, you guys. You know, nobody's doing live streams right now for shows, and it's because you can't show the images. Well, look, if you guys are so inclined, you can go to the Toronto Pro. I think it's TorontoProShow.com or something. I'll get the actual website and I'll put it in the chat so that you guys can get the live stream, watch along with me if it ever comes back up, and we can go about it that way. Because, look, it's this or nothing, you guys. Okay? And I don't expect this to get nearly as many views, especially it being the Toronto Pro, but I did want to get out something for you guys because, like I said, this is a show that is roughly 3 or 4 hours behind schedule, which we're going to discuss. But this is just it. This is just it. I wanted to get out something. Otherwise, it's going to be well into the night here. Well into the night. So there is some stuff on Instagram that I will show you guys for sure. But let's talk about it. Make sure to get a vote into the poll who will win the 2026 Toronto Pro. For those of you that did see the prejudging, the images that I have up here are images of the actual competitors from the show. And this was your presumed top 4. You've got Quint Beastwood, who we all expected to be the front runner in this show. Eric Wood having a very impressive return to the stage in 2026 so far. Blessing Awodabu on his 5th show of the season. And showing a very impressive package here for his 5th show, despite my disbelief that that would take place, we'll say. Anyway, we'll talk about that some more too. We also have Wellington Nescau, Wellington Baptista, showcasing a very, very well-conditioned physique, showing very good balance as well from top to bottom. This is a guy that is definitely in the top 4 and is a deserved candidate for that top 4. Anyway, like I said, make sure you guys get into the chat and let's talk about it. Donald Pump's how's it going, Donald Pump? Good to see you back. Forrest Smith, Eric Wood looks nuts. He does. He looks insane, man. Eric showed up at this show. He really showed up, and I expected him to. No, I expected him to. This is a guy that I expected to place within the top 3, if not the top 2. In fact, in my predictions, I did have Eric Wood defeating Blessing Awodabu. And I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by that. Blessing showing up very impressive, no question. But, you know, Eric spending a fair bit of time in the center during the callouts, which a lot of people had a lot of faith that Eric was going to do top 3 here. Not as many had Eric Wood actually placing top 2. And after prejudging, that very well could be the case. That very well could be. So, we'll certainly discuss more about Eric Wood. We'll discuss more about Blessing. Wellington Nescau also showing up very impressive. And of course, Quint Beastwood. Now, a lot of us were waiting to see what was going to happen with Quint Beastwood in terms of the package he would bring to the stage. Would he bring the conditioning? Does he have better balance between the upper body and the lower body where he needed more size to the quads? And we definitely got some answers to those questions during the pre-judging. A very, very impressive package from Quint Beastwood, no question. I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed. Maddox Medlin, not open, but Kellen and Classic looked fucking crazy. Dude, Classic was actually really competitive. Classic was really competitive. I was very impressed by the Classic guys. I wrote down a few names actually in Classic because I was so impressed and I want to check these guys out later. Really impressive. And I know that I had them wrong, so I got to look up the names of these Classic guys again. But even the amateurs, I don't know if you guys saw the amateur event for this show, but it was crazy the quality that was brought to this show. Like, one of the guys in there, man, let me see. The guy that won his pro card, I believe, actually competed in the Open after winning his pro card yesterday as well. But the guy that came in second, Taylor Cross, I can show you guys some stuff on Taylor Cross. This guy's an amateur. He's actually from Ontario, and he's a commercial diver and career underwater welder. So I got chatting with him a little bit the other day. Yeah, Kellen in the Classic does look crazy, man. Looks absolutely crazy. All those guys look crazy in Classic. I was very, very impressed at that. So let's see if we can get a couple of images for you guys. I had one of Quint Beastwood queued up here. Here we go. So this is something we can definitely look at. Quint Beastwood showing up with a very, very impressive package. And again, you guys, I found this online. It was on AJ Kelly Roberts' page. Shout out to AJ Kelly Robert, okay? I'm not showing any of the footage from the show when it came to the live stream. I won't be showing any of the screen captures. I've already got, looks like the show is back underway. Very good. Or at least the live stream is back on. So that's a plus. Live stream is back on for the Toronto Pro. Finals have not begun as of yet. I could be mistaken, actually. It might have scrolled back for me. Oh, no, it is live. Okay, that's good. Jim Mannion currently on stage with Tyler Mannion. And I believe that's Ron Hash that's on stage as well. Could be mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure. But again, Quint Beastwood looked insane at this Toronto Pro. I was hopeful. I wasn't 100% sure from his updates going into this show, but he certainly showed that he did bring up the legs, I think, at least a noticeable amount. I don't think it's quite enough. I think he does need more size on the legs. The conditioning is definitely much improved, without question. He showed up with a lot of detail in the quads. He showed up with, you know, even definition through the arms, shoulders, which is something that we didn't really see from Quinton when we saw him last compete. Looks like feathering in the teardrops. Even the back. Now, the back was much in question for Quint Beastwood. And I think that he actually did bring up his back. It'll show some shots here, I'm sure, in a second. Front lat spread, always deadly for Quint Beastwood. No question there. See if he turns to the back. I believe he does. A lot of detail from the side. That side leg stripped out. You can see, you know, striations through the quad, the hamstring separation from the glutes. Excellent, excellent version of Quint Beastwood. Good side tricep. Saving his back shots, it seems, for last if he hits them in this shot. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Back double was probably the one pose that was most in question for Quint Beastwood. And as you guys can see, I mean, not bad. You know, not bad. There's a lot more detail there than I think a lot of people were thinking there was going to be. I think that we're seeing a lot more depth to the back than we were expecting. The glutes are completely stripped out. Hamstrings, great definition. You guys, Quint Beastwood delivered. Okay, he delivered a very, very impressive physique at this Toronto Pro. There's absolutely no denying it. Like, look at this. This is nuts, man. Like, that's a very, very impressive shot. You know? Look at the size of the arms. the shoulder ratio, the chest. I think his chest actually probably came up a little bit in size as well, but the midsection is dialed in. The quads, very, very good balance. I don't want to say that it's perfect yet. He does still have room to improve, but the balance between upper body and lower body is improved. I think that his conditioning is better than what we saw last time he was on stage. And overall, this is a pro winning physique. This is a pro show winning physique, I feel. Now, it's only as comparable who you're standing next to, but Clint Beastwood, I think, showing that he does deserve to make his way to the Olympia in 2026. Again, after competing 5 times in 2025 and taking 4 second place finishes. I mean, you guys, I was saying it on the podcast that I did with Bob Ciccarillo recently. I had him on the channel. I said, man, after the first 2 that he came second, it was honestly getting painful to watch. It was getting painful. Third one, I mean, I was just like, oh my God, what does this guy have to do? Well, I knew what he had to do, actually. But he just wasn't quite there. Wasn't quite there. Appreciate you guys getting in the chat as well. Got Black Patron, moderator of the chat, which we're definitely going to need when the Olympia comes around. What's going on, brother? Missed the show. I'm guessing Quint walked away with this one. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It's fair to say. We don't need to sugarcoat it, you guys. He pretty much walked away with it. Good competitors, no question. These guys showed up, ready to do battle. But I think it is going to be Quint Beastwood's show. I think it is going to be his. Actually, very impressive. Like, look, you didn't see this detail through the arms and through the shoulders or the chest last year when he would hit this shot. I mean, it wasn't even close. This is a much improved version of Quint Beastwood. From a conditioning standpoint, this is the best that he's ever brought to the stage. It's also the best balance that he's brought to the stage. Again, this is worthy of winning the Toronto Pro. Most definitely. Looks much improved, but not much. He has improvements he still has to make, especially given, like you said, Old Chud Muffin. I don't know if that's a top 10 Olympian physique, though. I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think it is yet. I think it's close, but it's going to come down to the legs. I mean, think about who Quint Beastwood is going to have to go up against when it comes to the quads. Okay, you've got guys that'll be in around, say, that 6th to 10th mark, right? Tony O'Burton comes to mind. It's going to be tough to be able to stand next to a guy like Tony O'Burton, who is so well balanced, brings comparable, if not better, conditioning on a regular basis. He's got the hardness, he's got the fullness, and although Quint Beastwood is improved from the back, Tony O'Burton has one of the best backs in the IFBB Pro League currently, okay? And that is no understatement, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless, just the legs. Guy like Tony O'Burton, I don't think that he can defeat his balance, his aesthetics in his own right that he has. Consider Behruz Tabani. Consider Behruz Tabani. Now, Behruz is known for not having the best legs, well, I should say Behruz is not known to have the best balance between upper and lower body as well. It is a lagging body part for him. But again, has a phenomenal back. Phenomenal back. Also up there for one of the best backs in the IFBB Pro League currently. Behruz looks insane. And he is rounder, and he does have a little bit better balance through the arms, I feel. And look, it's all about the arms. But regardless, a difficult guy to stand next to, but still someone that he may be able to defeat. It's possible. It's possible. So, top 10? I don't know. But, it does at least warrant the conversation when it comes to him being in the top 10. With some competitors, that make it to the Olympia, it just doesn't. It's easy to just say, no, these guys aren't going to be in the top 10, But we are at least having a pretty reasonable conversation about Quint Beastwood making it into the top 10. So that does say something for how he showed up here. We're going to have to do some more analysis. We're going to have to look at some more comparisons. I'm going to defer to some of my colleagues out there, like Marks Max Muscle, who undoubtedly will do some comparisons. I like to spend some time on the Project Bodybuilding podcast when it comes to some comparisons, so may ask Dylan to get in on that. But I know that I was speaking with AJ Kelly Robert. He wants to come back on the channel soon. Eric Janicki as well. Talking to Eric, and I think as long as schedules line up, he's going to come on tomorrow. We do have it confirmed. Shout out to Eric Janicki if he's watching. So you guys can look forward to that. You guys can look. Let's continue on for. I'm going to see if I can find see if I can find something else here for you. There is a comparison here I think you guys will all enjoy. If I can find it. Still waiting, you guys, for somebody to take the stage at the Toronto Pro. Oh no, we do have looks like women's fitness that is on stage currently. So the show is back underway, you guys. It is back underway. But again, every category has to be gone through. We'll talk about that as well. But I want to start by talking about the competitors. You know, we'll get to all of that. So, this is the one I want to show you guys here. Presumed top three. You can see the comparison here. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Blessing is in the mix. Blessing's definitely in the mix. Yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Yeah, the Masters Fitness is currently on stage. Again, I encourage you guys to go to the Toronto Pro website and get the live stream. You guys can watch along with me. Otherwise, we'll just find some content that's out there. We'll find what we can. That's Taylor Cross there. I'm going to go back to AJ Kelly's page so we can look at that comparison again. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So, actually, you know what? Let's go shot for shot here. Okay, it starts with the back lat spread. That's fine. Back lat spread. Although it is from a bit of an angle, you guys can see here that Quint Beastwood is showcasing a ton of detail in that back. Glutes are stripped out, as are Wellington Neskow's. Now, it's harder to see from this angle, but Eric Wood does have a notable gap in his thighs. Part of that, I think, could be fixed by him not spreading his legs too far, too far apart. Maybe standing up a little bit straighter, turning the knees slightly in order to adjust it. But anyway, these are things that, at the end of the day, is just given the fact that he needs more mass. But regardless of that, very good version of Eric Wood from so many different angles. And again, we will get to that. Quint Beastwood, Wellington Neskow. I mean, fantastic. Blessing did have a very good back lat spread as well. I'll try to find some more of Blessing here shortly. But when it comes to who I would give this shot to, I feel like I would give this shot to Quint Beastwood. Again, make sure you guys get into the chat and get into the poll. So far, we have Quint Beastwood with 71% of the vote. Wellington and Blessing tied for second. Very interesting. Appreciate you guys getting in the chat. Quinn has some of the best calves in the business. He absolutely does. Next shot. Wellington still had trouble keeping his midsection in check. Yeah, I think he had a little bit of trouble with that. Yeah. But overall, not bad. Not bad. Man, they rushed these guys through these comparisons. Although I don't think they needed much more time in order to decide. Still, given the fact that this show was running so late, I mean, they were skipping poses. You know, they were skipping poses. Abs and thigh. This is a really good shot for Eric Wood. A really good shot for Eric. I think it's some of his best execution. I think that it shows his best proportions from upper body to lower body. Very good detail in the quads. Diced midsection. Very good version of Eric Wood. Very good. Clint Beastwood. I mean, what else can you say, you guys? What else can you say? Midsection, dialed in, quads, sliced and diced. Good separation through the arms. This is a very good pose for Clint Beastwood. No, it always was. It always was. Wellington Neskow again with that midsection. Midsection, a little bit of a midsection distension there in the lower abs. It's just not quite what we're expecting. Tony O'Burton sometimes has some of the same problem with the lower ab being distended, but with Wellington, it's a little bit more evident, and it throws off his physique when you see it a shot like this. Oh, it does throw it off. At the end of the day, this is kind of a battle between Eric and Quentin, I feel. It's a little bit of a battle. Most muscular. Really good shot for all these guys. Now, everybody did this one well. Good shot for Eric Wood. Good shot for Quint Beastwood. You know, Wellington, he's able to hide that midsection. Paying $30 for every single show is too much. It is. Yeah, there should be some sort of a pass where you can just, you know, get them all. But see, the problem is there's too many different media distributors out there. Each show is responsible for their own live stream, and they all hire local people. So for all of them to come together would take a lot of coordination. You know, a lot of coordination. And one company that travels around, such as Gilco. I mean, yeah, there's Gilco, I guess, but even Gilco's not at every show. Maybe if just a company like Gilco could offer something like that. But anyway, it's impossible to tell from this angle. Yeah, it's not a favorable angle, to say the least. Not a favorable angle. But it does give us some idea of what these guys are looking like. So, like I said, I think Quint Beastwood is winning this one. I think he is winning this one. Wellington got the Mofota abs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. And Mofota did improve, actually, from one show to the next that he did earlier in the season. Antonio has the same stuff, albeit to a lesser degree. Absolutely. This is something the IFB could sort out. Yeah. Sorry. Just have it as a package for the show promoters. Yeah. Yeah, if the IFBB wanted to get involved, I'm sure that they could. They don't seem to want to. That's what it comes down to. Haha. Got one of my friends watching the show. Shout out to Jamie. What's going on, man? So again, they are going through the Masters fitness competitors right now. And you guys, like I said, they have every division in this show. It's actually ridiculous to have every division. I don't know how they expect to stay on point with all of that. And I guess to that degree, they haven't stayed on point with all of that. They are behind schedule by several hours. And I don't know how somebody didn't see this coming, to be completely honest with you. I don't know how somebody didn't see this coming. I mean, let's face it. You have every single competitor, or sorry, every single division in the IFBB. It should be simple math. Competitors are only allowed a certain amount of time on stage. I think for Classic, it's either 45 seconds to a minute. For Open, I think it's a minute and a half, you know, for individual presentations. So take the number of competitors that you could expect at the show, add up all of the time that it takes for each competitor to be on stage, estimate what it's going to be for the comparisons to be done based on that number of competitors. 10 minutes between each division in order for the judges to switch over their paperwork, as they were saying. And there's your timeline. It shouldn't be that difficult. Somebody should have been able to calculate this, and it seems that nobody did. It's cool to say that you have every division in the show, of course, but not at the expense of the audience, not at the expense of the competitors, because now we're getting into, let's see, what is it, 6:37 p.m. Eastern time for these guys? Finals was supposed to start at 3. This should be over by now, really. Or at least close to. I don't know what that many divisions. We'll see if I last that long, because I started right at fitness, and my God, the number of divisions that are in here. We'll see. At least it's only the top. At least it's only the top 10 for the finals, but still, we'll go back and look at Clint Eastwood stuff again. Okay, and phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Tony asks the same stuff, albeit to a lesser degree. Something the IFB should sort out. Live stream for Texas. Yeah, I'm planning on doing a live stream for Texas. Tampa, I'd love to do. Atlanta, planning on that as well. Texas is going to be good. Ryan Mathis, glad to have you back. I'm glad to be back, man. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Sure. Very glad to be back. The Olympia needs to set a standard, and 1099 that works out so we can finally smooth out the kinks, and maybe the shows will run better. Maybe. Something needs to be done. That we can say for sure. I mean, look, I could estimate the time now, really, when it comes right down to it. If you look at the Toronto Pro page, you guys would laugh if you saw my setup. I've got 3 screens and my cell phone going right now. This is what I call organization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, something like that, between Masters and Open. So you're talking a lot of time yet, guys. This is gonna be a lot. A long ass show. But again, I did want to get on here and give you guys something. I wanted to give you guys something, because there's no coverage. Nobody wants to do live streams anymore, I presume, because you can't show the screen. Well, it's this or nothing. Go to the Toronto Pro Show website if you guys want to pay the $29.99 US, and you can follow along with me, or we can check in good old Instagram for stuff. Well, I'm down for that too. Again, make sure you guys get a vote in the poll. Let's see what the poll is sitting at now. Clint Eastwood with 69% of the vote. Eric with 13%. Bit of a switch there. Very good. Very good. Blessing with 9% and Wellington with 9%. I said, Eric Wood, he's a competitor, man. Oh, he's a competitor. I really like Eric. See if Blessing's got anything. I think TFE Media had some stuff. The Olympia needs to make the shows worth paying for. First, before they make people pay. Improve the lighting. Shorten the show so it's not 6 hours long. Well, this is what we're into with this as well. You're in for it. You lose the audience, you lose the competitors because they don't bring their best to the stage, and people remember that stuff. People remember that stuff, the good and the bad. There's no question. trying to find some content here that we can look at. Iffy media, but the shots are really small. Maybe I can bring them up. Let's give it a shot. Top 2 and Masters are coming out now. Sure, let's take a look. See if I can make this any better. Usually I can. Let's just bring it down. Let's try it. This is your top 4. Yeah, no, that looks awful. Can't tell anything from that. Not even with your bodybuilding lens. Can't really tell much from that. Shape. Well, overall, you can tell shape, but that's about it. All right, let's see if we can find something else. We'll get back to it. Can't be as bad as the Pittsburgh Pro, in my opinion. I think it was $50 just to watch the Sunday guest posing live stream. See, I just wouldn't pay that. Bodybuilders Without Borders. I'll check it out. Thanks, bro. Stream is always an afterthought. Even if they put money into production, they wouldn't profit from it. Not enough people watch bodybuilding shows. I think you are right about that. It's unfortunate, but you're right. Yeah, same thing. I mean, it's pretty best we can do is kind of scale it down again. But yeah, nobody else is live streaming. And like I said, you guys, I get it. You know, there's nothing that you can there's nothing that we can do when it comes to the screenshots. Look, we did it for quite some time, and I do still think that there's a benefit for show promoters to do that, but or allow us to do that, but it just seems that it's just not going to be a thing for the foreseeable future anyway. But yeah, we can tell some things from these. Some things. Oh, I did miss your message from earlier. I apologize. Sorry, I think you missed my message. What's your thoughts on Quinton working with Milos? It proved positive with Samson, and I think it can do tremendous benefit for him. But when it comes to Quint Beastwood, here's the thing. Quint Beastwood doesn't want to work with a coach. Quint Beastwood doesn't want a coach. You may remember, I don't know if you would remember or not, but when Quint Beastwood was last working with a coach, it was Matt Jansen. And what ended up happening was he had a very bad experience with a very poor showing at the New York Pro. And actually, not only did he fire Matt Jansen, but he was actually very vocal about that process. I don't know if you guys remember entirely, but yeah, Quint Beastwood was very vocal about the fact that Matt Jansen was making poor decisions, giving him bad drugs, and yeah, it was a very tense situation. Quint Beastwood playing kind of the villain and seemed to be, you know, even being entertained by us by some of his posts, which was uncharacteristic for a guy like that. But regardless, he went through a lot of emotion. Look at that back. Get back to it. Ridiculous. No, absolutely ridiculous. Hey, what's going on, brother? Thanks for being here in the stream. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, excellent version of Quint Beast. But sorry, to your question of should Quint Beastwood, what if he did work with Milos? I think that Milos would steer him in a decent direction. I don't think he would, make him any worse. But Quint Beastwood wanting to coach himself, it really seems to work for him. I know that he does have the eye of some trusted individuals. Which, look, anybody that coaches themselves these days, even back in the day before coaches were a thing, that's how it worked. That's how it worked. You had somebody that you were able to, at least show your physique to for feedback that you trusted, that the competitor trusted. So I like that Quint Beastwood is coaching himself and being successful with it. I do. I really like it. Weird. Quint's back looks great from the slight side angles, but a little curved in when filmed from the front. I'll have to look at that again. Yep, I'll have to look at that again. Just for you guys that are paying attention to the stream, they're just getting ready to do awards for. I'm not sure which division this is actually. I think it might be women's physique. It looks like physique to me. But don't kid yourselves, guys. The promoters are trying to get through this as fast as possible because they have a lot of divisions to go through. A lot. They will be expediting this process, to say the least. What do you guys think about Milo Sarshev and Hadi Chupin? Crazy, right? Now, I think that's a really good matchup. I think those guys, I think those two are going to be a very good pair. Weird. Milo's coaching techniques are all out there for free at this point. Can't say I have any complaints about Quint's physique. Still shallow abs, but pretty hard, full, and developed. Look, he looks great, okay? He looks fantastic. Compared to what he brought last year, this guy is killing it. Okay, we got another one here. Eric Wood. We can talk about Eric Wood. Eric posted this on his page. The detail in the back of Eric Wood. Unexpected. Unexpected for sure. But the development of the back is still something that Eric needs to work on. He doesn't have that back development, but he certainly has the back detail. Look at that Christmas tree. Look, like, this is very impressive. No, this is very impressive. What do you guys think? Eric Wood. Does he have potential? Picture this with increased size and width. What do you guys think? Hadi looks like he's definitely hopped on that insulin protocol. Yeah, I think so. Hadi is just not, balls to the wall right now. That's the thing for Hadi. I think Milos told him to take a break, man. Okay, so it seems that the Toronto Pro is making another change in the live stream. Not in the live stream, but in the show format. They are now going to do all of the Masters divisions and then go to all of the Open Pro divisions. Probably because they're so short on time that they feel that this is going to speed up the process. Bob Ciccarello just making the announcement. You guys, you can't make this stuff up. Like I said, not to take anything away from the Toronto Pro promoters, because look, I am not a promoter, and I am not saying that I could do a better job, okay? Not by a long shot. I know nothing about promoting shows, aside from the few conversations that I've had on this channel. And with those outside of this channel as well. But regardless, it seems to be simple math. You know, you can estimate the number of competitors that you could have before you even put out the show divisions that'll be in the show. You can do an estimation based on the other shows that are happening and how many competitors could show up. You know, just say it's 12 on average. Sure, 15, perfect. You know, depending on the division. You can assume a lot for the women's divisions. You can assume not as many when it comes to things like when it comes to fitness, when it comes to wheelchair. You know, you can expect a lot for men's physique, for classic, and for open. You can do. Anybody that follows bodybuilding could easily estimate all that. And then there is a set amount of time, because there are variables within the IFBB's control or the show promoter's control to point to say this will go on time because it's the IFBB rules, such as how long you can do an individual routine. Like I said, for the women's divisions, I know that it could be anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute. Men's physique, same thing. Open, I believe, is a minute and a half. Do the math. You know, do the math. That's just me. But again, all of the Masters competitors now are going to be, all of the Masters competitors in all of the Masters divisions will be taking the stage before we see the pros outside of the Masters. And Eric Wood, absolutely fantastic. We'll get back to some updates from some of these guys here shortly, right? For now, let's let you guys have your say in bodybuilding. Get into the chat and make sure that you drop a vote into the poll. We'll take a look at that here just a minute. Ben W08, Eric's back doubled is fantastic. Bat lag leaves a bit to be desired. It does, yeah, and I think a lot of that is the legs. Yeah, I think a lot of that is the legs for Eric, but also the upper back. Better have that detail working with the Cedo. Yeah, Forrest. See, this is the thing about Eric Wood. I mean, he's got the right coach. Without a doubt, he has the right coach. And they seem to work well together. So I think that's a very good match. Elvado Fishing says he's blowing Quint away from the back. Not going to lie, Quint's hamstring's better, though. You know, I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think that Eric is destroying Quint Beastwood from the back. Quint Beastwood has a back now, and we couldn't say that last season. You know, Quint Beastwood does have a back. Quint Beastwood is probably the most improved from what we saw last time, not just last year, but last time on stage. Quint Beastwood is very far improved. And we haven't even begun to talk about Blessing yet. I got to find some footage of Blessing. Do they want to do wheelchair next? I have no idea where they are coming up with these. I don't know where they're coming up with these changes to the schedule in the show. The only thing I can figure is that they think it will make the show go faster. That is the best that I can figure. Did they get behind because of all the divisions? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. There was no other, unless there was something else behind the scenes, and that's possible. That's possible, but there was no delays between divisions, and I did watch right from the start this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. There were no delays between divisions. The changes between judges and paperwork seemed to go on schedule. Did not take very long to do, minutes, under 15 minutes. So it had to be the divisions. It had to be the divisions. It's a long show. That's a very long show. Let us give credit where credit is due to the Toronto Pro, though. The backdrop, much improved from what we saw the last several years at the Toronto Pro, okay? They actually went to a primarily dark background color as opposed to the Pro Tan brown that it has been the last number of years. This is a huge, huge difference. So props where props are due, okay? Somebody was listening. Somebody figured this out. Maybe they were listening to my channel because I ripped on them for that, and deservedly so. Terrible, terrible backdrop. Terrible. For years. Maybe somebody was listening to EP09 Bodybuilding. Eric gaining a lot of respect regardless of the outcome. Certainly, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially after he stood next to Tony O'Burton. Huge props. No, huge props. That's not an easy guy to stand next to and have any shot that you can compare with. No, Eric held his own in some shots. Tony O obviously won. But there was some conversation. Good. What makes bodybuilding exciting? There's so many divisions, we might finally see men's wellness here. If we see men's wellness here, let me take a step backwards. I am not interested in covering a show that includes men's wellness. There is a line to be drawn in bodybuilding, and I actually think it has been crossed already with the number of divisions that are out there. But that's certainly on another level. If there is a men's wellness show in the IFBB Pro League for a competition that I was looking at covering, I think I'll pass on that one. I think I'll pass. It would be funny, though. Hello, I am Japanese. How many minutes until men's physique? I'm not sure, my friend. Not sure. I will type something in the chat. I'm assuming that you used probably a translator that's built into YouTube somehow. So I'll give you an estimation. I don't know if you actually speak English. And if you do, I apologize, my friend. Welcome, though. Welcome. I don't know. Could be an hour. Could be a little more. Maybe that last shot was just unfavorable for him. The shot before was better, but not near the condition in subsequent development. Better structure, all-around package for sure, though. Back itself on Eric, very impressive in detail. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Eric reminds me of Jordan Hutchinson a few more years. Yeah, Jordan is... I actually saw Jordan do a interview on AJ Kelly Roberts' World of Bodybuilding channel. And yeah, Jordan is coming to win. You know, Jordan is in a very good place. They're moving into women's figure now for the show as well, just so you guys are aware. So, top 10 for the women's figure coming on stage. I don't know how long of a routine they get. Like I said, I'm not sure, you guys. But again, the development of Eric's wood back. Also, okay, so I was right. Sorry, let me get back to you, sir. Not that you can understand me. Hey, Chad, I can't catch the spoken English well. Can someone type here how long until the men's physique finals start? That's the best that I can figure. I did try to... Oh, I misspelled physique. Sorry, my friend. Again, you can't understand me. Welcome, though. Won't insult anyone by trying to speak any Japanese. My last question. Hey, you can ask as many questions as you wish, my friend. You can ask as many questions as you wish. This is why we do these live streams. In order for us to have conversations in bodybuilding, whether it be for this show, anything outside of this show, it is all on the table. Of course, our focus being the Toronto Pro. But look, I encourage you guys to get into the chat. Ask me questions about anything that you want. Anything. But again, the question itself, and I do appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. Do you think Quint surpassed Ian? Has Quint Beastwood surpassed any version of Ian Valier? Or do you mean current? I guess that's what I should ask you. Do you mean a previous version of... how do I word this? You mean Ian at his best? Or Ian right now? Compared to Ian right now, I can answer both of those, actually. Compared to Ian right now, no. Yeah, well, I'll say yes. Quint Beastwood, probably better. Ian, when... What? Where? Oh, baseball. Okay. Love you. Have fun. My wife's going to baseball. I'm starting to think that Beastwood has same problem as Samson or Brandon, where it could be a skin thickness issue. Possible. It's possible, but his conditioning here was very good. Look, let's go back and find. I'll find a little bit more of Quint Beastwood. Sure, there's more out there now. I know we had that one video. I'd like to get a front-on shot. Is what I would like. Fitness Vault Network's got some stuff. Just screenshots though. But this is better. This is better. Okay, I can bring this up. Bear with me for a second. Again, this is what it takes right now, you guys. So it gives us somewhat of an idea of what's happening here from the back, right? We can work with this. We can work with this. Straight on back shots. Some of the things, and this is the first that we can actually talk about blessing as well, because I haven't found anything on blessing yet. But look, let's start with this. Okay? Let's start with this. Wellington Nescow, probably the weakest from the back in this lineup. Quint Beastwood, notable improvements. Notable improvements. Detail, in width, in balance, stripto glutes, more detail in the hamstrings, better balance. You cannot say anymore that Quint Beastwood does not have a back. You can't say it. He has a back now. And a version of Quint Beastwood with a back, although he could still make improvements. A version of Quint Beastwood with an actual back is very, very dangerous. In fact, now I would say his back shots are probably stronger than his front. Some anyway. Front, I think his front double bicep is more impressive than his front, or his back double bicep. I think is more impressive than his front double bicep. Some of you guys may disagree with me on that, but look, let's talk Eric Wood. Let's talk Eric Wood. Incredible detail. No, incredible detail from Eric Wood. You're seeing the best lower back in the entire show, if I can recall. Crazy, crazy Christmas tree. Crazy detail, decent depth. He's definitely dialed in the lower body, but you can see it here where he does have that notable gap in his inner thighs. But man, it is so much detail. He is so shredded. Very, very good comparison here. At the end of the day, I do think the judges will give it to Quint Beastwood because he's more balanced. But look, let's talk blessing, okay? Let's talk blessing. Now, I'm going to start with, some of you may remember a video that I did previous to this show where I said, and I quote myself, what the hell is Blessing thinking by doing his 5th show in about 3 months? 4 months, roughly. I didn't think that Blessing needed to get back on stage to get better. I thought that Blessing needed to take some serious time off in order to make improvements in muscularity, especially in his quads, in order to come back more competitive. Well, it would appear that I was at least slightly incorrect, because this is the best version of Blessing that we've seen yet this season. Blessing is rounder. Blessing is more conditioned, and Blessing is fighting for a top 3 spot here. I mean, from the back, he's defeating Wellington Nescow without question. I mean, look at the width of Blessing. He has an incredible upper back. And I've mentioned this a number of times when it comes to Blessing. Ridiculous upper back. Even his lower body looking really good here. You can see the detail in the hamstrings, the glutes are stripped out. He brought the conditioning. He finally brought that level of hardness and fullness that he really needed. This is a very good version of Blessing Wodabu. And honestly, I am very, very happy for Blessing to essentially prove me 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Does he have much further that he can go from here? No. No, let's face facts. This is his 5th show. Eventually, the body is not going to respond anymore. Oh, if he doesn't win this one, maybe try one more and then get some rest before the Olympia and try to duplicate whatever it is that you did here. That's what I would do. I already tried to tell Blessing what to do and I was wrong. So that's why he's the pro bodybuilder and I'm the guy here talking about him. I do appreciate you guys being here though. Thank you for signing in and following along the 2026 Toronto Pro with me here on EP09 Bodybuilding. Really appreciate all you guys being here. If you guys want to send a super chat, feel free. If not, totally cool. Just happy for you guys to be here. We'll get back into the chat before I switch to the next post. Let's see what you guys have to say. This one's kind of working a little bit better for me. I think I missed some. Quint's got an Andrew Jack type back, thick at the upper back, but ends a little abruptly. Andrew's getting more praise for his back lately too, though. It does show that he can make progress in the back at least. Can't say he doesn't have a back anymore. Where would you have this version on an Olympia stage? This version of who? Quint Beastwood? It doesn't matter. Any of these guys, I don't know if they'll be... Well, look, maybe Quint Beastwood could be in the top 10. I don't know. It's possible. Possible. But it would be lower down on the top 10 scale, 8th, 9th, 10th, without doing enough evaluation. Quentin, okay, so yeah, you're talking about Quentin. Good. Yeah. Realistically, maybe more between 10th and 12th without really doing some comparisons to the other guys who could be qualified. Quentin versus Brandon would be a good one. Can we have that conversation yet? Quint Beastwood versus Brandon Curry? Is that something we can do? Just let me know. He really shouldn't have been competing with where his health was, but I think it was pressure from his sponsors that made him compete. Blessing's been with... So Blessing is the only athlete that I know that is still with Muscle Tech, that's been with Muscle Tech for, man, years. Blessing has had Muscle Tech as a sponsor for many years now. Still working with Muscle Tech. Not something that you see very often these days. So maybe he was feeling some pressure. Maybe he was putting that pressure on himself. That's entirely possible. Looking for a bottle of water that I have. It's one of the secrets of success in live streams. 4-liter jugs. Although you can see how much of this I drank over the last couple days. Stay hydrated. Bob doing an interview with the women's figure winner on stage. Surprised he didn't cut out those interviews too. Anyway, I'm happy for him. His health has been better. Yeah, look, if Blessing nails it, man, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. I know you guys love bodybuilding, but keep an eye on number 65, Shun Keneko from Japan in men's physique. He's going to win. Also, thank you guys for being so kind. Hey, you're welcome. I'm going to respond, actually. Maybe I don't know how. I will watch for Yeah, I'll watch for him for sure. Definitely. I'd bet Quint 13th to 14th. And yeah, look, that might be more realistic. Xavier Wills, ladies and gentlemen, Desktop Bodybuilding is in the chat. I know you all see Xavier Wills in the chat. Desktop Bodybuilding here in the digital flesh of sorts. Xavier, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Good to see you in the chat. Man, let me know what you think about the show so far, Xavier. I was actually going to call you earlier, but I didn't know if you'd be up yet or not. I'm pretty sure with the time change, you probably wouldn't have been. Actually, it'd be late where you are. Nah, it'd be like afternoon for you right now. So you're doing good. Okay, you're doing good. If his knee issues subsided and he was able to take some time to let them grow, he could be winning shows. Blessing is a gifted athlete. Oh, yeah, he absolutely is. Blessing is quite gifted. He just has not been showing us anything lately that would constitute us having faith that he can make it back to the Olympia up until recently. I think we're seeing a better version of Blessing. Okay. Let's go with the front double. Okay, we talked about the back double. Look at the front double. And talk about all four of these guys again. Not impressed with Wellington. 9:13 a.m. Yeah, you're doing fine. I thought you were 15 hours ahead of me. Whatever. Yeah. Not overly impressed by Wellington here. You know, I'm not overly impressed. They have moved on to, I believe, the wellness division now. My eyes don't deceive me. This would be the wellness division. It can't be anything else. It's impossible. I don't know much about female divisions, but wellness is quite hard to mistake. Quite hard to mistake. Anyway. Yeah, Wellington, I'd say he's fourth here. Even Roberto Bonomo, I think, is beating Wellington in this shot. Kind of cut out of the frame here. Again, Quint Beastwood, you're seeing the definition in the biceps, the separation from the biceps and triceps. Absolutely fantastic. The quads, again, more detail we are seeing in the quads. Small midsection, good X-frame. Calves. The chest. Popping lats. Quint Beastwood is doing well. Doing well in this front double. Eric Wood right beside him. A good shot for Eric Wood. I think that he needs bigger arms overall, and he could have I think he could have better posing execution here to maybe flare out his lats a little bit more, make it look like a little bit better X-frame. But tight midsection, good detail in the quads. Looks like decent balance, but getting all muscled here by Quint Beastwood. Again, though, very good for Eric. Blessing Wodabu. Bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Bringing the heat. Some of the best arms that you'll find in the front double right now, although he does lack triceps in the side chest. Not as bad in the front double. Very good biceps. He always had very good biceps. Good X-frame. Good midsection. Although you guys may have noticed in the live stream, though, a lot of the times when Blessing was just standing in the lineups, like in the comparisons, Blessing would like have his arms over his stomach kind of thing, or you put them on his hips in order to try to hide it kind of thing. That is the sign of a pro trying to hide their weaknesses on stage. And Blessing actually did pretty damn good at it, I gotta say. You know, I noticed it though, and I was like, this guy knows. It's still not perfect, but there's ways that you can hide things, okay? I want to know who gave him that advice, or if he figured that out on his own. The Masters Wellness Champ now getting her award. Kimberly O'Connell being her name. Congratulations. Definitely a standout in that lineup. Anyway, front double. Blessing, fantastic. I would go Quinton, then I would go Eric, then I would go Blessing, and then I would go Wellington. Actually, then I would go Roberto and then Wellington. Maybe Wellington's not quite all the way into the pose yet. Anyway, let's get back to the chat, see what you guys have to say about it. When did the finals start? The finals have started. They are doing the entirety of the Masters Competitors Finals first, and then they are going to be doing the Pro Divisions. We are not seeing any further comparisons. We are seeing the individual routines, and then we are seeing awards. They know that this show is going to run late, you guys, okay? They've already ran hours behind schedule. 3-4 hours? Easily. Xavier, I wish I had this set up on StreamYard because I would just invite you in to be on this with me right now. I got to get that set up. I don't know, man. The OBS is so good. Anyway, conversations for later. How's the weather in Canada? It's cold AF here. Yeah, same here. For mid-June, it's terrible. Ridiculous. Good water clarity, though. Quinton's front double bicep is my favorite in the open division. Really? Quinton's front double bicep is your favorite in the open division. Looks like an absolute superhero. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It is good. It certainly is good. So look, that's a very, very good sign that Quinton is moving in the right direction and making solid improvements. Definitely making solid improvements. He could sit on his quads more, but he's big, shapely, and dry. Absolutely, I agree. 14 ahead, yeah. That'd be 13 right now, but we did have a time change recently. Anyway. Roberto's chest. Yeah, Roberto's good. He's lacking size. That's all. Blessing's lats insert so high. They do. Yeah, they do. But in the back double, I wouldn't change any. I would not change anything for Blessing when it comes to his back, given the fact that he's so good in the back double. Blessing does have some of the best biceps in the IFBB. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Let's move on to the most muscular. Really good shot for Eric Wood. A really good shot for Eric Wood. Wellington being able to hide that lower ab distension. Good shot for Eric Wood, too. Good shot. No question. I don't know. I would like to see better execution from Quint Beastwood in this pose, actually. Okay, so now they're moving into the women's open wellness category. You guys do remember me saying that they were going to do all of the Masters competitors first, right? You guys did hear me say that. That's only because Bob said it. So why are they now doing the open wellness? This show is all kind. Yeah. Good competition, though. Look, that's one thing we cannot deny with the Toronto Pro. This is a solid show with very good competition in Classic, in 212, in Men's Open. Guys, not a bad Toronto Pro. Not bad at all. Anyway, great X-frame, very good arms, good waist, great calves and width. I can't think of a better overall front double bicep. Andrew's arms are too lumpy and legs are small. Nick Walker is Nick Walker. Look, I'm not saying that Quint Beastwood is very good in that front double. I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. But for this one here, I think in the most muscular, I think that Quint Beastwood could have better posing execution here. Maybe if we didn't lean over so far in the upper body and did a hands clasped, not with his hands together like this, but I would say more like this or like this. I think would be better for him. Drop his hands down maybe a couple inches. I think that would help him more. Instead of having the elbows bent, bring it down. Bring it down. Stand up a little straighter. But yeah, still. Detail is there. Quads are there. Good balance. I mean, the chest striations. Actually, you look at Eric and Blessing. Crazy chest striations from those guys, too. Really good. That half crab in the photo is the way Blessing hit it. He should keep doing that. It looks really impressive. Um, this is a good shot for Blessing, actually. I was expecting it to make his arms look a little smaller because he doesn't have great triceps, but this is actually not bad. This is not bad. He needs to hit it like Samson. Who you mean Quint Beastwood? With the front double? What about Good Vito? Is that second? Yeah, Good Vito does have a very impressive front double bicep. That's for damn sure. No, that's for damn sure. But look, we can't forget Derek Lunsford. No, we can't forget, like, when it comes to best front double biceps out there, how could we forget Derek Lunsford at this point? I mean, you cannot say front double bicep without mentioning Derek Lunsford. It would be disgraceful to say that. You guys know that I'm joking. You guys know that I'm joking, okay? Front double bicep for Derek. I'm sorry, but no. No. Did I catch anyone there? I bet you I did. I bet you I did. Oh, Derek. That's a whole other conversation, isn't it? Yeah, Derek Lunsford. Get back to the chat here for a second. To score this, though, oh, okay, so they are actually doing comparisons. For those of you that are watching along for the live stream, they are currently doing the final comparisons for the competitors in the women's open wellness division. So I guess they are going to do confirmation. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I would go Quint Beastwood, then I would go Eric, I think. That quad detail's insane. Then Blessing, then I'd go Wellington after that. I would. DragonCuss69, yo, sup, man? Long time no see. Good to see you, Axe. Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. Just got home from work. Who won? Who won? Brother, this show is 3 or 4 hours behind schedule. They have every single division in the IFBB Pro League in this pro show, both open and masters. The show is not over. Now, we did have prejudging, and I can tell you who won prejudging for sure. And that was Quint Beastwood. He remained in the center the entire time, and everybody was moved around him. Quint Beastwood will take home the win at the Toronto Pro because there's not enough time between prejudging and finals to even screw up that much. I suppose if you really tried, you could, but you'd have to try really, really hard. You'd have to try really, really hard. If you were to do nothing, it'd probably be enough. Anyway. Mr. Plastic Olympia himself, that would be him. Derek Lunsford, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I give Derek too hard of a time sometimes. Do I give him too hard of a time? I actually saw that Nick Strength and Power made a video on some of the recent comments that Derek had about him carrying the torch of the Mr. Olympia champion simply due to the fact that he would be a better person to push the sport of bodybuilding, you know, to make it grow. And he doesn't see any of his competition that would be nearly as capable as he would to that effect. And to that, I actually left a comment on Nick's video. And I said, well, in the same vein of what Derek considers to be his, you know, ability over others to push the sport of bodybuilding for the fans and for the IFBB. I mean, when it just comes to the fans, if that's the case, then shouldn't the fans be able to say, look, we don't want you as our champion. No, we don't want Derek Lunsford to be the champion of bodybuilding right now. And if everybody did have a general consensus of, Derek, you should give up that title, you don't deserve it, shouldn't you give it up? No, it doesn't work that way. Derek won the Mr. Olympia. The judges gave him the title, and he is Mr. Olympia based on his physique. Derek Lunsford is not Mr. Olympia based on his personality. If it was a personality competition in the eyes of the fans, and I'm just stating the general consensus of what's out there when it comes to the opinion of Derek Lunsford, by the majority of what I see bodybuilding fans saying, then Derek would be outside the top 10 if it was a personality competition. You know? With that being said, Derek Lunsford 2022 at the Olympia, oh, insane. A lot of people might forget that. 2022 Mr. Olympia Derek, absolutely insane. Fantastic physique. He had it. Midsection was dialed in. Great proportions from upper to lower body. Conditioning. The back. Best back double I'd say that you'll find potentially anywhere in the IFBB history. Anyway. Modern day Derek, the fans, have their own opinion. And you guys know mine. Still going through the final confirmation round for the Open Wellness Women's category. And we should have the awards coming up here soon. We'll keep you guys posted on what divisions are on and when. And we'll take a look at some more comparisons here soon and have some great chats about bodybuilding until we see the men's confirmation finals. Derek does look good in action, man, and not in a good way. Small plasticky. Derek does look like an action man. Yeah, it's crazy that he won 3 of the biggest shows last year, honestly. It's crazy. Samson's been the best ambassador in the last 10 years. Yes, he has. Wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting anybody. Brandon was good too, but Brandon didn't do... Brandon was just a really nice guy. A really likable guy. Wasn't pushing like Samson did to go across the world. Where did Samson go? China, I think. After he won the Olympia, the first place he went was China. Like, crazy. You can see Samson on Korean TV. Korean YouTube channels. Samson did a great job. He's one of the best ambassadors for the sport. No question. Derek's comment was brain dead. No one did more for bodybuilding in recent years than Samson. Absolutely. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I don't want it to grow, LMAO. I want to keep this sport as niche as it is because that's how I think it's supposed to be. Football channels or soccer channels can't interview players because they're too disconnected. I agree that there are advantages to bodybuilding being the size that it is because athletes are not major celebrities to the point where they're not accessible, but I still would like to see bodybuilding grow. I would. Media channels like mine would grow if that was the case. And so you would still have that accessibility because of the perceived exclusivity of media companies. So it would balance out, I think. I think it would balance out. Competitors limit themselves no matter what sport they're in if they don't do interviews. People want to know who these guys are, what their techniques are, how they prepare. What do they do before they get on stage? Forget about the stage. What do major athletes do before they get on the field or get on the ice? Get on the court, whatever it is. We want to follow our favorite athletes in the sport that we so choose. Got to find out about these guys. I just feel like bodybuilding and how tight-knit it makes it is makes it what it is. I agree, but you'll find community within any of the sports that you follow. I promise you, my friend. I'm going to be here no matter what. Bodybuilding fans' memory is as short as my back. Hey, man, I remember... I can go back and remember a fair bit. Derek's 2021 physique was my favorite. He was good. What do I think of Even Bodybuilding? I think that Even has a good channel. I think that Even is a very honest commentator. I think that he deserves the growth that he's getting on his channel currently, and I watch his channel fairly regularly. I don't always watch every video if I think that it's look, if it's overly negative or stretching for views, which we all do that. This is YouTube. It's just part of the game. Being honest with you guys. But look, overall, great channel, good coach, and he's doing a great job. He stepped up his game. He has, I think, better content lately since he started going on camera. Quality is always there. He's consistent with his uploads. Look, even bodybuilding, seal of approval here on EP09. Let's try to find a couple of more updates on the show. I'll check some of the media companies that exist out there to see if we can get anything further. Let's see. Okay, Fitness Volt Network might have some stuff. Yeah, we've got the comparisons. I saw those. Haha, Bob's funny. He just said there's nothing half-assed about wellness. Good one, Bob. Good friend of the channel. That is actually pretty funny. Okay. Okay, these are some pretty decent quality images here. Over your fuck Curry. Yep, absolutely. Rich B, longtime follower of the channel. You're absolutely correct. It's not a personality contest, regardless. If Derek is cringeworthy, he is Mr. Olympia. I accepted. You guys can go back and watch my my live stream when Derek was announced Mr. Olympia. First off, the chat exploded. You guys went nuts when Derek was crowned Mr. Olympia. I mean, for better or for worse, the chat absolutely exploded. I couldn't keep up. It was impossible. The reaction, the shock. Crazy that Derek won. Sanity. But yeah, he is Mr. Olympia. Let me get you guys hooked up with a couple more high quality images here. Quint Beastwood, and this guy's name is escaping me. I apologize, you guys. Please, you guys let me know who this competitor is in the comments. Bodybuilding fans, yeah, I read that one already, of course. Same to the business of bodybuilding when he won. He absolutely did. Now look at this image of Quint Beastwood here, right? Man, this was when they when everybody came out for the initial quarter turns. This is the first impression on the judges, you guys. Okay, it's a hell of an impression. No, it's a hell of an impression. You can see the vascularity in this image. You can see the detail in the quads in this image. You can see the roundness and fullness of the chest, the shoulders, the arms. X-frame, the dialed in midsection. You guys, it is there. It is there. Quint Beastwood, definitely at his best. 100% at his best. Very impressive. Very impressive. Oh, this is Luca. Okay, thank you very much, Rich. I appreciate it, brother. That's another guy that we need to promote right now. Rich B, now a moderator. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it. You've been upgraded without any conversation whatsoever. I don't really need moderators here, though. I mean, there's the odd time that, you know, somebody that's less than exemplary of an individual might stroll into the chat, but it's not often. But again, very impressive version of Quint Beastwood. Even Luca's quads, man. Better than Quint Beastwood's in terms of sweep, in terms of shape. Luca Pola from Italy, very good. But man, look at this. Look at the roundness of the quads. That is really impressive. You know, really impressive. Wow. Luka nailed it, man. Keep going. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, you guys, come on. I mean, this is really good. Where is the... Okay, they're just giving out the award for Masters Bikini, I think is what Bob said. So maybe they are going to go and do the Bikini Open next. I'm not sure. But regardless, guys, this is it right here. We'll see how Luka looks from the back. I think there's another image from the back, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there is. We'll look at that here in a minute. But yeah, quarter turn. Very, very good. You know, this is about as good as it gets when it comes to a quarter turn shot right here. Okay. Look at the difference. I mean, Quint Beastwood has the you know, round full chest with the striations, arm to shoulder proportions, very good. You know, his arms don't look small, and a lot of guys have arms that not only look small in this shot, but also disproportionate. Quint Beastwood does not have that. You can see the serratus, very small midsection, and detail in the quads, the glute hams, very well separated. This is about as good as it gets when it comes to a quarter turn. This is crazy. This is crazy. Even the execution. Crazy, man. The Beast win? No. There's still some time between the men's open and now. There's some time. The show ran 3 or 4 hours behind schedule due to the number of divisions that were in this show. Somebody couldn't do math, is what ended up happening. Regardless, it is true the Toronto Pro broke a record. You know, they have every single division in this show. Certainly something. No matter what. No matter if the show did end up falling behind. You know, and look, let's also say a successfully run event otherwise. You know, the live stream has been consistent. The media companies online, like there was a slight hiccup in the live stream, and they actually posted on the Pro Live Media page, refresh your page. So they're accessible, they're aware. The quality of the live stream is very good. Look, you guys, overall, a very well-run show with, I think, a pretty good live stream. You know, they could have somebody commentating. You know, I think that would make a difference. Should contact them next year to see if they want me to come and commentate. I wouldn't even charge them that. I think that'd be fun. Let me know if you guys want to see EP09 as the commentator for the 2027 Toronto Pro live stream. See if we can make it happen. Seriously. You never know. A couple of comments here. Shoulders underdeveloped and a little narrow. Weaker back for Luka. He's gifted, though. He is, yeah. His conditioning is very good. The hardness in the muscle. You know, you could see a little bit more detail, I think, in the quads, but he's got that hardness. You know, look through the chest, through the arms. Not bad. Yeah, Quint knows that's a good shot for him. He certainly does. Look at it. Yeah, he is. He's smiling his ass off, isn't he? He knows. Yeah, he knows. From the back, something else that we've been waiting to see. Gentlemen, fantastic. Quint Beastwood officially has a back. Look at the detail in the hamstrings. Man, he did not have anything even remotely close to that live stream. Or live stream. To that detail last year. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous improvements. Quint Beastwood, I have to see a comparison, and I'm sure Mark is going to do it. Mark's Max Muscle. If you're watching, that would be a really good comparison of Quint Beastwood 2025. Whatever show later in the season, I suppose, would be most appropriate. Compared to the Toronto Pro version that we're seeing here, you probably have that already in your queue. and it would be a really, really good comparison. Because this is a ridiculous version of Clint Eastwood. So far improved. I am so very impressed. I don't want to understate it. I honestly don't want to understate it. Okay. So, do you guys think that Clint Eastwood is that improved in the back double as compared to what we saw last year? You guys let me know what you think. Looks like they're doing another confirmation round for bikini. I think this might be the I don't know if this is the open bikini. I think it is. Best run show was Dubai last year. I think the whole thing was over in about 4 hours, prejudging and finals. You know, done deal. Done deal. As long as you also do a live reaction show while you're commentating. Look, I could do both. I could run my setup here as well as just have the mic ported into the Toronto Pro live stream easily. No, easily. They could just take my stream and I'll just stream it on my channel at the same time. I mean, why not? Right? Why not? EP would be the best commentator in the IFB. I don't know about the best commentator in the IFBB. I don't know about that, but I certainly would enjoy. I certainly would enjoy doing that, and I would certainly give it my all, without question. Luca's definitely falling off there. Not fantastic, but definitely some foundations for something good. And sometimes that's all we need to see. You know, sometimes that's all we need to see. This does show some potential. He got that hard, grainy muscle, you know, which is not something that a lot of guys can get. So, no, he can get stripped out. Now it's a matter of putting on that size. And crazy quads from the front, okay? I don't want to understate that either. Check this out. Check this out. Look at those quads. Look at those quads on Luca. Like, come on, man. Crazy. He's got to have some of the best quads in the lineup. He must. Must have some of the best quads in the lineup. This is crazy. My thoughts on Chris Miller. I'm going to have to look at Chris Miller again. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure, Rich. It's nothing special, just another tall-ass black aesthetic bodybuilder that keeps improving when literally all competitors stagnate or have minimal improvements. It's kind of a bleak outlook on it, don't you think? Kind of depressing. I don't want to look at it like that. I don't think it's true. I don't think that's true at all, actually. That's uncalled for. That's uncalled for. I reject your statement, sir. I reject your statement. I think that the improvements that Clint Eastwood has made are not something that you see every day. You do not always see a competitor make the improvements to the point where you see from year to year such notable improvements that they could make their way to the Mr. Olympia and have people in my comments section asking if they can make the top 10. That doesn't happen every day, my friend. Doesn't happen every day. A lot of people don't meet their potential. A lot. Getting some messages from Muscle Insight HQ as well. Very good channel on Instagram. I encourage all you guys to go and check out Muscle Insight. Reminder to not judge shows from live streams. What? I'll judge it from a live stream if I want to. I'm not there. How else can I do it? Anyway, Muscle Insight HQ. Really good Instagram channel. I met the Beast. Hold on, let me get back to. I'm gonna find some more pictures for us as well. Let me get back to the chat screen here. Let me see. I met the Beast at the Pure Athletic Expo at the Hamilton Convention Center last October, and nice guy. I told him I would support him going again this October. Fantastic. Fantastic. We should be supporting the bodybuilders that we really like, you know? Absolutely, we should be. Oh, sir, I got Muscle Insight messaging me again. I don't think that's correct. The live stream quality is actually really good. Really good. Let me find a few more images for you guys. Yeah, really good. So impressed by Quint Beastwood. Fitness Vote was good. Patrick Torre has some images of Roberto Bonomo. What's about ninth place in 1997? Oh, Dylan at Project Bodybuilding is asking me about something. I have no idea. I'll get back to you. Oh yes, here we go. Here we go. We got some high quality images here, I believe. Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay. Top two, presumably. Take a look. Bob says he speaks fluent bikini. That could mean a lot of things. Anyway, not terrible. Not a bad image. I'll keep looking for more. But yeah, again, Quint Beastwood, Eric Wood, resume top two. It still looks kind of top heavy for some reason. He is still a little bit top heavy. You're right about that, Gamberizer. Welcome back as well. He is still a little bit top heavy, but it's better than what it was last year. He has brought up the quads in size. Messaged him and told him I go to the Olympia if he wins. It's so expensive. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Actually, Bob told me if the Olympia moved back to an arena that he would have a ticket for me. So I'm going to have to hit him up. And he said that on a live stream. Or not on a live stream. He said it on an episode of the Bodybuilding Breakdown. So let's see if he wants to follow through on that. Now, look, it's got to be hard to get those tickets. I don't expect Bob to have one. It'd be cool, though. Benji Perez says, Eric is good, Wellington is good, it's a close show, and Quint needs more size for his frame, but he still stands out here as having the most strengths and no glaring weaknesses. Benji, I can agree with that. Glaring weaknesses is the thing, right? Like, it's not... There's things that he needs to improve on, yes. But there's a difference between improvements and, like you were saying, a glaring weakness. This is not glaring. You know? It's not. Wellington's midsection is a glaring weakness. When Blessing lets his midsection go, it's a glaring weak. And I know that it's you're talking about maybe lagging body parts more than anything. Blessing's triceps, a glaring weakness. You know, that's more of what we're talking about. Waiting for the next division to come on stage at the Toronto Pro. I'll let you guys know what the next division is going to be. Next up is Women's Fit Model. So Fit Model is the last women's division in the show. Next, we will be going to the men's categories. So there will be men's physique, classic 212, and men's open bodybuilding, which is what we are all waiting for. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Shows seem to be stepping up their game this year in terms of production. Legion, Pittsburgh, New York, Cali, France, and Toronto all look better this year than they have in the past. Yeah, I agree. Where's Dylan? Oh, the places that Dylan could be. The places that Dylan could be. Not in this chat. Dylan, why are you not in this chat? Be in this chat, Dylan. Quint has definitely improved. The problem is that he's so tall that he still gives the illusion of looking a little stringy, kind of like Andrew. Crazy to say that about these guys who are so massive. You're right. Quint Beastwood could still use a little bit more when it comes to size, but he has come up in size, and these things take time. I think he's taking the right amount of time. I think that he will be bigger next year as well, but I think that this version of Quint Beastwood is worthy of stepping on an Olympia stage, and I don't think that was the case last year. Again, we're going to have to do some more comparisons. Dragon Kuss 69. Quint has definitely improved. The problem is that he's so tall that he still gives the illusion. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we talked about that literally 2 seconds ago. It's $1,000 a ticket for the Olympia? Oh my god. See if Bob charges me more than that. Quentin does not look stringy. He needs to pose better. Some poses, yes. Most muscular, he could do better. Blessing's hips a glaring weakness. Yeah, his obliques. Sure. Not Fit Model, gotta be my favorite division there. Yeah, Fit Model, I mean, come on. Like, there's too many women's divisions. We didn't need Fit Model. We don't need a watered-down version of Bikini. No, we don't need a softer version of Bikini. My honest opinion on it. Let me go back to... Let me see if Gilco has anything posted yet. Not yet. Not yet. Their whole bodies look like Derek's arms. Their whole bodies look like Derek's arms. I don't know what you mean. Nothing there. Find a few more pieces of media, but again, once they finish up Fit Model, which they just gave out an award, so not much of a confirmation round. Like I said, you guys, they are blasting through this. They are blasting through these categories. They're now doing a Fit Model Open. Three non-top 10 finishers first. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of good images here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got a really good one here of Quint Beastwood. Check this out. Woo! Man. That tells you everything you need to know right there. Shout out to Jaden Snyder. What else could you possibly want? Bigger legs. Forget about it for a second, okay? This is very impressive. Extremely impressive. Come on. Fit model is the most crucial division in bodybuilding, hands down. It shows that bodybuilding isn't about building a body with training, but by using a waist trainer and not eating pizzas. Shit, I should start competing in it. Nah, I'm not giving them my... their whole bodies look like Derek's arms. Okay, that's probably what... I think I get it now. Yeah, I get it now. That's funny. I like watching wellness. Well, of course. Of course. I can't wait until they add another division of women and we get the biblical famine sufficient. It is getting a bit ridiculous, isn't it? It certainly is. Absolutely it is. But again, you guys, Quint Beastwood showing up here at his best. And like I said, with no time to even screw anything up that drastically to lose this show. Watching from Mexico, great to have you back, brother. Oh, Mad Angel, how's it going, man? Glad you're back. Yeah, I'm glad you're back. Well, thanks for being here. Really glad I did this live stream. You know, we've got some true fans of the channel that are here tonight. Forrest, Rich B, Benji Perez. You know, like I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Even Xavier Wills from Desktop Bodybuilding. Find Eric Janicki around every so often. Eric, you kicking around? Fire me a message in the chat. Fit Model Pro EP09. I mean, I like the sound of that IFBB Pro thing. Not that Fit Model thing, though. I'll have to pass on that. Yeah. Crazy, right? Crazy. And this is actually Clint Beastwood hitting the quarter turn from the left side as opposed to the right. So no matter what the side, Clint Beastwood can hit it. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thanks for putting this on, bro. IFBB Pro Stephen King. Hey, we got an IFBB Pro in the chat. Stevie King, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for putting this on, bro. Any shots of the 212? And look, I can look up some shots of the 212. I saw that Giuseppe Zagarella competed in the 212, and I was expecting him to do better here on the judges' scorecards, but I know that he wasn't as conditioned as some of these guys from the back, but I really think that Giuseppe Zagarella was robbed just a little bit. I do. I think he was robbed a little. Too bad. He's one of my favorite 212 competitors. Personally, he's one of my favorites. I've been here, but just watching, bro. Oh, look, you're here on EP09 Bodybuilding. I appreciate you being here, Jack Say. And yeah, you're one of the OGs here in the live streams too, man. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all you guys being here in the live stream for the 2026 Toronto Pro. We are awaiting the men's categories to take the stage, which should be just after this women's Fit Model Pro division. You can expect minutes until the men's physique guys take the stage. How'd Dorian Haywood look at prejudging? He looked pretty good, man. He looked pretty good. Better than I expected. Seems to be the general consensus of this show. Dorian was much better than what I expected. I wasn't expecting much. He was pretty good. Oh my. Clint's small waist and the fibers in the chest, he brought condition and the size. Yes, he certainly did. This was an excellent version of Clint Beastwood. Look at the detail in the back, like the X-frame, the hamstrings, the stripped out glutes. So much improvement. So much improvement. Unbelievable. Looking at the votes for the poll, who will win the 2026 Toronto Pro? Clint Beastwood with a commanding lead of 68%. Surprisingly, the chat saying Wellington Niscal at 15%. Actually have Wellington in fourth. Actually have him in fourth. Yeah, really, really good. Dorian got to do the Masters Olympia. He'll definitely win. Yeah, he'll definitely win again. EP09, how did you come up with the name EP09? What does it mean? I've always wondered but never asked. Love the channel. Thank you, Austin D333. EP09 is actually one that I came up with. Essentially, when I was living in a place called Eastern Passage here in Nova Scotia, it was in the year 2009. I was living with my cousin, and as a young man, all we did was eat, sleep, train. We didn't have jobs. You know, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and we loved every minute of it. Every minute of it. All we did was eat, sleep, train. It was awesome, you know, and we pushed hard. We would go to several gyms all around Halifax. It was just outside of Halifax, Nova Scotia, where we were living. So we would hit all the different gyms that were around. We had my cousin and some friends that were really into MMA, so they were training hard as well. But we'd go to their place, we'd have meals at their place. They'd be doing green shakes and stuff like that. We'd go home. We used to buy chicken off of a guy, so we could buy more chicken outside of the grocery store, and from say his questionable choices, good quality chicken. But anyway, that's where the name came from, because at that point in my life, that's all I did was eat, sleep, train, man. But I guess further to that, it's actually a handle I came up with when we were playing Xbox, because I had to make a profile on his Xbox, and I just came up with EP09. 2009, I was living in Eastern Passage. It was awesome. Lee Priest says Beef Wellington. Yeah, I'm guessing that most of you guys caught my video with Lee Priest, where I did a little bit of a news update with him. You're going to be seeing more updates like that in the future. I've got a lot of different people that I want to... oh, this was in between prejudging and finals. Hold on a second. Hold on. There we go. This is in between prejudging and finals. See, finals coming up. Wicked. Yeah. You can see the gaps here, though. You know, he's got to bring up them legs. But, man, he's good. Really good. Yeah, so I recently did a news update video with Lee Priest. And I've got a few guys that are interested in coming onto the channel. Probably be wrapping up more of the Toronto Pro with Eric Wood, or sorry, not Eric Wood. I should message him though. Eric Janicki tomorrow evening. AJ Kelly Robert was speaking with him. He wants to come back on the channel. We'll have all the people that you're used to seeing as well. Marks Max Muscle, Xavier Wills from Desktop Bodybuilding. We'll even get Dylan back from Project Bodybuilding. Even Dylan will be invited. Okay. Me and Dylan actually have almost the same 16-week-out predictions for the Olympia. Our top 6, pretty much the same. Nobody would have thought that. Okay, here's another good one. Very, very good. Oh, yeah. There we go. We got a couple of high quality images here. Okay, so the women's divisions have completed at the Toronto Pro, and now they're going to be moving on to the men's divisions here very shortly. Very short. Great front double. What about John Livia from Sirius and Silliness? Yeah, John, I am going to get John on the channel. He actually asked me to go on his tomorrow. And yeah, I've got to get John on ASAP. ASAP. I want to get him on for something good, you know. I want to get him on for a really good topic. John's a great dude. Shout out to John Livia, Sirius and Silliness Bodybuilding. Love John's channel. Priest is a goat. He certainly is. Ben W., you are onto us, brother. Try to keep your voice down. Try to keep your voice down. I don't want many people to know. Both of you have Derek predicted first. Is a painful possibility that I hope does not come to pass. That's why we have him picked first, because it is not just a painful possibility, it is the most likely possibility, I am sorry to say. Here's Chris Miller here. Rich, I think you were asking about Chris Miller. Well, check it out, man. Pretty crazy. This is a pretty crazy version of Chris Miller. No, I'm very impressed. Look at the roundness of the shoulder here. Look at the detail in the quads, the hamstring, the glute tie-in, stripped out glutes. Even that far pec is pretty striated, you know. Chris Miller. Very good. Yeah, very good version. Very impressed by Chris Miller. You can see Blessing here as well. Here, let me... You can see part of Blessing anyway. There might be more shots of Blessing. But side chest, not a great one for Blessing because he lacks so much tricep. That's the only problem for Blessing. Miller looked great, but I think the hernia may have hurt him. Well, in a shot like this side chest, yeah, you can see the midsection distension, but, you know, side chest, you can hide that shit. So he did a pretty good job of that here, I guess. It's a pretty dark shot of Quint Beastwood, but you can see it. It's there. You know, it's definitely there. Ridiculous. I like this hands-on hip most muscular for Quint Beastwood, and I don't always like that for some of the taller competitors. Like Andrew Jack, when he does it, hate it. Andrew Jack should never do a hands-on hip most muscular, ever. It makes his arms look small. Ever. Quint Beastwood, not bad. Well, not bad. The arms look proportionate overall. More triceps would be better, but they do look proportionate overall. Roundness of the shoulders looks good. Decent enough sized chest, and you're seeing some striations through there. The quads, again, much improved. Really good detail. Tiny midsection. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. Very impressed by Quint Beastwood. Very impressed. He will be your 2026 Toronto Pro champion, and in my humble opinion, he will punch his ticket to the 2026 Mr. Olympia. Have mercy. Funny. No other shots? All right, fine. Keep searching. Blessing might have something up on his page by now. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's see if we can find something here. There we go. This is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. High quality blessing Awodabu. We got to go right to the source for this. Here we go. Okay. Decent quality, we'll say. Decent quality. Okay, he's not quite in the pose, but this it's only a short clip. Look, you guys, these are the things that we can see, okay? We can see that Blessing has brought the fullness, he has brought the conditioning better than he has previously, and the midsection does not look bad. This is a good version of Blessing. Okay, trust me, this is a good version of Blessing. Better than what I was expecting. Much better. Very happy about it. Check it again. Again, from what we can see, like I said, he's fighting for third. Clint Beastwood, as we've seen. Again, excellent version of Clint Beastwood. No question. We are just waiting for the men's divisions to start making their way to the stage. Should be fairly quickly. They are looking to speed up this process. And you guys, we did see some shots from the back, but a little bit far away to really know. We find something else of Blessing. Yeah, okay. Can deal with this. This is just the live stream. As you can see, this is not from my live stream. This is from somebody taking a screen recording, okay? Well, let me see if we can pause that. I do want to see it. Yeah, look, the detail in the quads for Blessing has definitely come up. The fullness in the quads has definitely come up, you know? He's getting it. 5 shows later, Blessing is actually getting it. Bob Ciccarello currently on stage. Trying to hurry up everybody to get things going, maybe? Nah, Bob's a veteran. He knows exactly what he's Blessing's legs aren't shredded like Quint's. No, they're not. They're not on that level. But they are better than what they have been. Blessing going to win? No, he's not going to win. But he's fighting for top 2. Blessing is fighting for top 2. No question. You have to go shot for shot with Eric Wood for something like that. So, front double, I would probably give to Blessing. Side chest, you have to give to Eric Wood. Front lat spread, I don't know. I'd have to compare the two of them. Back double, man, that's a tough one for that back double because Eric is shredded, but Blessing has the detail and he has the shape. You know, oh man, neither of them have great legs from the back. That's a tough one. Ooh, really tough. I don't know. It's close between them. Yep, it's close. You can see front lat spread. That's a good one for Blessing. No, it's not bad. Lacking triceps, but it's not as evident here. The legs, though. The legs got to come up. We know that. We know that for certain. We know that for certain. Really good back detail. Really good. He's got a good quarter turn. You can see his midsection protruding here, and he is leaning too far forward. But it does showcase the conditioning. Just listening to Bob here right now. Okay, so Bob said that there was actually 2 schedules that were put out, and they need to try to find the balance between, honoring the original schedule and, making sure that everybody doesn't have any, well, nobody's going to have any conflicts, but yeah, the show is not running very smoothly, apparently. But they are doing the men's Masters Open right now, actually, which is kind of interesting. Does that mean that they're going to do the men's Open next? It might. It might actually mean that. That would be cool. Yeah, Blessing definitely fighting for top 3. Really good conditioning. His best yet this season. No question. AJ Kelly Robert coming in clutch. When it comes to Blessing. And he's right. Blessing is looking epic. Blessing looks really, really good. The best Blessing we've seen this season. Still not as good as what he used to be back in 2022-ish. But a very good version of Blessing. What do you guys think? Is Blessing going to take second? Third? What's it going to be? Will the conditioning save him? Possible. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Blessing doing the vacuums definitely helped 100%. Usually I'm not saying that Quint is going to win every time he competes, but this time I'd put money on Quint Eastwood. 100%. Yeah. Quint definitely has this. Didn't Blessing tear up one of his knees? Yeah, Blessing suffered an injury during a hack squat back in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And it just doesn't seem like he's recovered since then. It doesn't seem like he's recovered since then. Wellington Nescow top 1? Absolutely not. EP09, what do you think about the Tampa Pro with Joe and Nick? Well, me and Lee actually talked about that on my latest bodybuilding news update. So you guys can go and check that out on the main channel after the Toronto Pro stream. I think that it's going to be an interesting comparison. I think that Joe is going to be able to match Nick from a size standpoint. But I think at the end of the day, there are levels to this. And Nick is just simply on another level for where he is in his career versus where Joe is in his career. So Nick is just on another level. Dave Monfrel, welcome back, brother. Welcome. Eric's got second place locked. Right. But Blessing is making it very difficult. Yeah, Lee's a good dude. Lee's a good dude. You know, it's cool just to consider him a friend, you know? It's kind of cool. Fucking Lee Priest. But me and him get along for some reason. I don't know what that... See if I can find... let's see if I can find some more comparisons here of the top four. This isn't a bad one of Clint Eastwood, actually. Just basically scouring the internet to find decent content of the show for you guys. Okay, so there's a little bit of a comparison here that you can see from the back. Blessing of Wodaboo, Quint Beastwood, Wellington Niscal. Like we were saying, there's levels to this. You know, there's levels to this for sure. I might take a couple screenshots. We'll see what happens. Fuck it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. I think Blessing will be third, possibly fourth. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, third I think is likely. I don't think Wellington is going to defeat Blessing though. No, I don't see it happening. All right, let's see if I can sign in here. Yeah, third place for Blessing, I think, is most likely. I think most people would agree with that. Here we go. Roy Evans wins the Masters Open Bodybuilding at the Toronto Pro Super Show. So Roy Evans, I believe, just earned himself an Olympia qualification, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Roy Evans just earned himself an Olympia qualification, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't think I'm mistaken. Let's get another for you guys again, this version of Quint Beastwood that we're dealing with. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The improvements blows me away. Now, that's not helping you guys. All right, Roy Evans, Masters champ for the Open Division at the Toronto Pro. So, congratulations to Roy Evans. Roy Evans actually showed up in very good shape. Very good shape. Looks like Bob's having some word with the judges again, trying to figure out this chaotic Toronto Pro schedule. I think right now the best that they can do is really just have the show try to run as smoothly as possible. Sorry, I'll bring this back up for you guys. No, I can only do one at a time. One moment. That will do when I'm ready. Okay. We are waiting for the next division to take the stage. I don't know what division that's going to be. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, just like that. Eric Janicki in the chat. I think it's Quinton's win. And then let's let him enjoy his first Olympia qualification before speculating where he'll place there. Look, Eric, you make a very good point. And that's one of the things that we can discuss tomorrow. You know, we can discuss that tomorrow. He's certainly going to enjoy this victory, given the fact that he's showing up at his absolute best that we've ever seen. You know? But like I said earlier, just the fact that you can have a legitimate conversation about Quint Beastwood cracking the top 10 is not a conversation you can have with everyone that makes it to the Olympia. Well, there's some guys that make it to the Olympia, and it's very easy to dismiss right away. Nah, you know they're going to be outside the top 10. You know they're going to be outside the top 10. But with Quint Beastwood, based on what we're seeing here, maybe. But no, when you come on the channel tomorrow, we will celebrate this for the victory that it is and the improvements that he's made, without question. Again, Eric Janicki in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you here, man. Looking forward to our chat tomorrow. Bayou Muscle in the chat as well. Davey Mize, what's up, Kenton? How about that teaser you posted? Can you give any updates? No, I'll give you updates later. No, I'm going to be working on a new show for the channel. It's not going to be anything overly earth-shattering, but I think it's going to be exciting, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Just be able to change things up a little bit. But just another show. You know, we got the bodybuilding breakdown. We've got the news updates. You'll see. Make sure to go to biomuscle.com and use code EP10 at checkout. Supplements made by a fan of bodybuilding. We are here. Big fan. Some think Eric is going to give Quint a run for his money. Can we see some Eric highlights? Look, without a doubt, you know, you watch in the next little bit here. Eric's legit, man. You know, and the bodybuilding world knows it at this point. I don't even have to say it. You know, Eric is legit. Like, definitely brought his breast this year. And, you know, what a lot of people don't realize is that Eric is just a big fan of the sport of bodybuilding. He's one of the biggest fans out there when it comes to pros of all the guys that I've spoken to, honestly. When I had Eric on the podcast, guy showed up and he was just like, man, I just want to talk bodybuilding. Let's do it. Oh. Very knowledgeable as a fan of, and not just as a fan, obviously, as a competitor, you know, the industry. Just, yeah, love having chats with Eric, man. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate you stopping in. Good to have you back. YouTubing, it ain't bodybuilding without the EP09. It's great to be back. It really is great to be back. It looks like the men's Masters physique currently on stage. Awards were just given out to top 3, and we're moving right through the divisions, you guys. Moving right through. It's all good, man. It's all good. All right. So, the Masters men's physique now in the history books. Next up. Bob said, what's coming up next? Your guess is as good as mine. Hilarious. But look, here's the thing, right? Bob is a seasoned professional, so he can handle things like this when it comes to changes in scheduling. You know, he can keep that show rolling. Bob is very good at what he does, regardless of what you think of his opinion or anything else. Look, Bob is a great MC, not just for his voice. Okay. Men's wellness is next. Hold on, Eric. Are you going to make a switch, brother? You going to make the switch? You guys think Eric Janicki should father the men's wellness division? No, we won't go that far. We won't go that far. Yeah, not big enough yet. Not yet. But he will be. Got a fan of Wellington Nescow out there. Maybe I can find something else on Wellington. Let me see what I can find. Bro, I'd cook in wellness. Yeah. Yeah. Look, no matter what, you would turn some heads. Not all the heads that you want to turn, but you would turn some heads. I think you'll see anything on Wellington's page. No, he's got one of them up there, I think. Half decent. We'll take a look. Sure. Yeah, turn some cheeks. Exactly. Austin D 333. You said it, brother. You said it. Oh, man. So, guys, we are moving right through these men's divisions, and I expect within a reasonable amount of time, you know, we're going to see the men's open guys take the stage. It might be another, I don't know, it could be 45 minutes or so. Not 100% sure, but it's coming. You know, it's coming. Maybe a little bit more than that. But it's coming. Eric Wood peeled back double was crazy. Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, it was. Very impressive version of Eric Wood. That back double is insane. Insane when it comes to the detail in that shot. Absolutely insane. Hey, guys, I got to take a quick little bathroom break. I will not be long. Just give me a couple of minutes for me to just go crack a piss. I've been drinking a lot of water, and I've been here for 2 hours, 23 minutes. That's impressive. I can hold it. Be right back. Okay, we are back, and they are now bringing out the men's open competitors, ladies and gentlemen. Men's open competitors are taking the stage. So, top 10 being brought out now. Very weird way that they're doing this, but regardless, we've got the men's open currently on stage. Okay, top 5 as we expected. We have Clint Beastwood, we have Wellington Niscal, Blessing Awodabu, we have Roberto Bonomo, and we have Luca, forgot his last name. All these guys are looking solid, though. Very solid. Getting these guys to spread out a bit. Now, like I said, there's not a lot of time between prejudging and finals to really mess anything up in particular, but overall, I mean, this looks pretty good. All right. Who's top 5? You've got Quint Beastwood, Blessing. Oh, where was Eric Wood? Where's Eric Wood? This wasn't the top 5. Sorry, Eric Wood wasn't in there. I said it's been a long show, you guys. Dorian Haywood looks pretty good too, man. He's got some arms on him. This is the best I've seen Dorian, and I don't even know how long. Yeah, nah, he was right to go in the show as in the open. I don't know if he would have won the Masters or not against Roy Evans, but he is good. Eric Wood in that back double, crazy. So this is just the top 10. They're just doing quarter turns, and then they'll start doing the comparisons. Everyone will get their own individual routine as well. Yeah, Dorian has improved a lot, man. He really has. Okay, so top 5 coming out. What are they doing? Hold on. They just brought out a top 8. Why would you bring out a top 8 when there's the final 10 competitors? This is a very odd way to do things, in my opinion. Why would you not just do 5 and 5? Why would you not just do 5 and 5? This is very strange. Yeah, they're still moving guys around. I mean, yeah, they've got 8 people on stage, of course. See, this is where the fan of bodybuilding comes out in me, where, I just don't understand. Like, look, they have to do like 6, 8 movements of these guys. Yeah, okay. Let's see the pose again. Yeah, there's 8 boxes up there. We got it. Well, that's the thing about having 8 guys on stage too. Like, the real estate that you got to take up. For everybody. I'd give Beastwood the front lat spread, maybe. Man, Eric's good on that side chest, but now Quentin's really good right now. Crazy. Eric's taking too long to get in the pose. Should be getting in that pose quicker. He's got one of the best back doubles in the show, and he's not taking enough time to be able to showcase it properly. First one in the pose, first one out of the pose. That's what you should aim for. Really good side tricep for Beastwood. Man. Really good. Crazy. And Eric's still hitting you can see Blessing still putting his arms in front of his midsection in order to hide any distension. He's getting smarter. Okay, front double again. Quint Beastwood unhappy. Quint Beastwood unhappy with the amount of time that he's getting, I think, and space between competitors. Starting to throw some elbows there. Yeah, see, take a step. You got to get everybody to take a step. Quint Beastwood is having none of that right now. Quint Beastwood throwing elbows so bad that they can't even do the comparison. Good strategy, actually. There, now he's staying in front, essentially, of Eric and Blessing, so he looks bigger. Little tricks in bodybuilding, you guys. That command the stage, and that's sometimes what that means. Still don't understand the 8-man call-out, though. Why would you do 8? That's foolish. I'll have a screenshot coming. So, hold on. Okay, sticking with the 8-man call-out, I guess. Let's see. Where is that window? There it is. You can see the top 8. For what it's worth. Top 8 is strange. Top 8 is very strange. But again, you can see what we're seeing here. Blessing, Quentin, Eric, fantastic. Wellington Nescow noticeably behind, even compared to Roberto Bonomo, It looks like almost a posing execution thing for Wellington here. Yeah, the front double bicep is a really good pose for him. You're right. Right. Okay, so they currently have... Okay, so... Okay, now they're doing a 4-person call-out. This is presumably the battle between 6th and 10th. Not sure. Let me get another little something for you guys here. There, look, we talk about the back shots a lot. This is finals, right? This here's finals. Really good back double from a lot of these guys, man. Like, not bad. There's not really a bad back double in this one. I mean, Wellington's not great, but you guys brought it from the back. I'm pretty damn impressed. See what else we got. Now, actually, oh, that's not it. There we go. So I was a little bit surprised when I saw this, and you know, Clint Beastwood not looking as favorable at this angle as compared to Eric. I think that Eric actually looks a little bit more balanced. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I don't know. Eric looks excited from prejudging. Bonomo's full as a house. Yeah, Roberto Bonomo. Yeah, he is big time. Oh, yeah. That side arm, really good, actually. Okay, waiting for the next call out. Or whatever that could be. Okay, making the decision for the next call out now. Yeah, Quentin's side leg is really diced. Quentin's side leg is really diced. Yeah, for sure. Didn't really get a decent most muscular. That's all right. Okay. Next call out. Next call out is Quint Beastwood, Eric Wood. Oh, is it just the two? Just a two-man call out? Okay, okay. They're bringing out Blessing. Okay, Blessing's being brought out, so a top three call out. Who's next? They're bringing out Wellington. And they're bringing out... Oh, they're bringing out Chris Miller. All right, there you go. So they've got Quint Beastwood in the center with Eric on the left and Blessing on the right. You've got Wellington on the far left, and you've got Chris Miller on the far right. So your presumed top five, ladies and gentlemen, with Quint Beastwood remaining in the center for the entirety now of what we've been seeing at prejudging and finals. Very impressive versions of really. Look, this is an impressive version of Blessing. This is an impressive version of Eric Wood, Quint Beastwood. I mean, even Dorian Haywood. Like, not bad. Chris Miller, good enough to make top five here. Roberto Bonomo potentially being outside that top five right now. Little bit surprising when it comes to that, but that might be the way the judges are seeing it. See. Yeah, really good back lats bed for Quint Beastwood. He's showing a lot of depth. Like, Blessing has a lot of mass, but Beastwood's showing a lot of depth. Quint Beastwood got to be careful with that front tricep. Tyler Mannion said no more front triceps. Ooh, Blessing starting to sweat. Starting to see the waterworks with Blessing and Wodabu on stage. Yeah. Starting to see the waterworks. Oh, and they give Blessing a break. They're giving Blessing a break. Well, there you go. Probably a smart move. Yeah, check this out. There, just a little taste. Can't help it. Can't help it. Again, money shot, right? Money shot, for sure. Sixth to 10th call out is happening right now. You've got Roberto Bonomo in the center of that, but you've got Dorian Haywood right next to him. So that might be your 6th and 7th right there. That might be your 6th and 7th. Is Dorian getting overlooked here? I don't think he's getting overlooked. But I do think that he is very, very good. Very good. Okay, let's see the back double. 6th to 10th. Dorian does look really... He doesn't quite have the glutes as stripped out as they could be. But there is some detail there. Okay, abs and thigh. I think Roberto is not impressed that he was out of that top 5 for that last call out. Chris Miller getting that invitation to round up the top 5. All right, here we go. Pose down. They have completed the judging. Actually, so the pose down is now happening. You know what? When you think about it, they did not get the men's open competitors to go on last for the finals, which would have been detrimental to their physiques. I think somebody actually made a good call here. Somebody said, let's get the men's open on now. Somebody said, look, let's be honest. Somebody said, look, the schedule is screwed up anyway. Like, why don't we just let the men's open go on now, right? And then these guys are not going to suffer when it comes to their physiques going later in the night. Not that it's all about men's open necessarily, but it is definitely what people are here to see. Well, this is what we're here to see. Classic, really good competitors for sure. And 212, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Giuseppe Zagarella. Big fan. But not without their not without their merits and their entertainment. But I mean, look, we're here for the men's open. So letting these guys go on early, maybe. Is the show still going? Oh yeah, yeah. They still have to do classic. They have to do men's physique. They have to do 212. I hope they give them the awards now. They're still doing the pose down, and Bob's like, who's going out in the audience? He's trying to make them go. And everybody just staying on stage. Not this time, Bob. That's all right. This show has been going for like 10 hours plus. Yes, it started at 9 a.m. It's actually at 13 hours now. 13 hours, yep. Time management is definitely not a strong point for the IFBB. Honestly, I feel like I could start a private consulting company and just get that on track for every single show out there. The ones that need it. And not have to really try that hard. I mean, I would. If I was to get hired by a pro show, obviously, I would make a pretty substantial effort, to say the least. Pose down continuing on the Toronto Pro stage. The men's open judging has been finalized, and now with the pose down taking place, actually just wrapping up. Perhaps we will find out the winners now? No. No, the men's open are now exiting the stage. and they will be yeah, they're still trying to figure out this show. That's been par for the course. That's fine. Okay. Oh, they still have to do their top 10 routines. Oh man, I thought they got rid of the routines. I mean, typically the okay. Do we not typically see the routines happen and then um and then the comparisons and then the awards? Like, strange thing. Blessing, like, very good. Don't get me wrong. See if I can find some other footage kicking around online here. Okay, the men's physique top 10 now coming out on stage. Yeah, I feel bad for all the bodybuilders who miss their peaks from waiting around for hours at a time just to compete. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for these guys, and it is. They've stated it many times. That's one thing that can be most detrimental, is just being expected to peak at a time when your body is not used to peaking. It's somewhat of an unreasonable ask. I was initially unsure if Quinton was big enough and conditioned enough to win, since he lost back-to-back to a guy like Jordan Hutchinson last year. And Urs Kalachinsky, for that matter. But he's got this show in the bag. Yes, he does. Yes, he certainly does. Quint Beastwood brought an insanely improved package. Insane. He deserves this victory, and this is a physique that can step on the Olympia stage and is going to be very, very respectable, very comparable. I didn't even think to check Beyond the Stage TV. Isn't that like the place to check? Oh no, I found that video. Never mind. Nothing of the finals yet. Let's see. No, nothing nothing that I'm finding on the media channels as of yet. Okay, so they're giving out the awards now, or sorry, they're doing the final comparisons for the men's physique athletes now. Give you guys another image. Let's see. I know I got a couple. That's all prejudging. Here's all finals. Okay, here we go. Yeah, front double from the top 5. There you go. You can see this was the final top 5 call-out. Wellington Niskow, Eric Wood, Quint Beastwood, Blessing Awodabu, and Chris Miller, taking Roberto Bonomo out of the top 5, presumably. Front double clearly goes to Quint Beastwood here, clearly. Blessing has the best biceps on stage, but he just doesn't flow as well as Quint Beastwood. He doesn't have the quad detail. Although, like I said, he is definitely better than what I expected. Yeah, Blessing is a big guy. He is a big guy, but not as big as Quint Beastwood. If Quint wins, do you think he will continue competing or shut it down until the Olympia? It's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that with this substantial of a win that he could get, unless he feels like he needs to continue competing to figure out something better with his peak, that would be the only reason that I would do more. But I think that momentum is a serious thing in bodybuilding, and if he was to go and do another show and not do as well, then that could diminish some of that momentum. You know, and like I said, that is a real thing in bodybuilding. Now, on the other side of it, not to say that when he went to compete, if it would be, you know, not of a benefit to his career. Very well could, without question. And if he was to do another show and he was to win, now he's got 2 pro wins going into the Olympia. Now you're making a statement. Now you're making an impressionable statement on the other athletes. 1, 2 shows. That says something. Seems like Sasan and Bonac are some of the only guys that can consistently peak nowadays. Who else can consistently peak these days that competes as much as these guys? It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask. Okay, so they are giving out the awards now for men's physique. We didn't really talk about the back lat spread. We'll check that here in a little bit. Eric doesn't quite get in the pose. Do I have another one? I might not. Like I said, you gotta get into the pose, you know, as quick as you can. You don't want to be the last one in the pose and the last one out. So we didn't talk much about the back lat spread. It's a very good pose for Blessing. His lats are such like really low lat insertions, really low. I think Chris Miller has a little bit of an execution thing, but I mean, not bad. Like he's got a lot of width there, decent amount of depth. Quint Beastwood has the X frame overall, although he doesn't quite have the same balance in the upper or lower body. None of these guys really do when it comes to that balance that you really look for. But you can't deny the hamstring and glute striations. You know, that counts for a lot. All right, the men's physique awards have now gone out. See what the next division is. Classic or 212, I would imagine. Men's physique, ladies and gentlemen. If I were Quinn, I would focus on getting the highest Olympia placing I could get. They say that your first Olympia is an experience that you should go through and not set too high of expectations. Certainly bring your best. Improved version if possible, but that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard different pros say about your first Olympia. Front lat spread, not really one that I saw very much of either. Very good front lat spread for Quint Beastwood. I actually it's one of the few guys where he's actually has his shoulders raised quite a bit above his chest is what it looks like. Um I feel like he could drop his shoulders a little bit and increase his width. But he's still doing very well in this pose. You know, the legs don't look small is the big thing. You look at Blessing, and I mean, his legs look notably undersized. The same thing with Chris Miller. They do. They just look notably undersized. Eric looks fairly well balanced in this one. None of these guys are perfect in it. That's for sure. Wellington's got decent balance from upper to lower body, though. Well, it's not a bad one for Wellington. I give it to Quint Beastwood overall, though. Yeah, Quinton's back double bicep is starting to become a respectable pose. It certainly is. Needs more overall thickness through the back and leg width. Yeah, that's pretty much where it's at. But I do think it's possible at this point. He's shown that he can develop more of those areas. Oh, they're bringing the top 10 out for open now. Everybody's getting to do their individual routines. I guess they just kind of gave out the Men's Physique Awards in order to give these guys a quick minute. It seems. Is that within the realm of possibility? Blessing doing his individual routine, and actually a really good. It's not a bad routine. You know, he's holding the poses for, you know, a few seconds kind of thing. One he held for maybe 2-3 seconds. Yeah, Blessing looks good in his individual. I will say that. He looks really good in his individual. He's not holding his poses as long now. I take that back. I'm not sure if Chris has a hernia. And yeah, I'm that's why I'm surprised that Roberto Bonomo was taken out of that that top 6. That was surprising for me. Blessing's back double, like one of the best that you'll find. Blessing's got an insane back double. He's not holding it long enough though. His back double is such a great shot. He's got to hold that shot longer. He wanted to bring the conditioning for this show, though, and he most definitely did. Midsection's still a problem, though. The midsection is still a problem. He's doing a better job of hiding it, but it is still a problem. Up is Wellington Nescau. See what Wellington brings. Wellington actually fought off an autoimmune disease. Made his return to the stage after a pretty lengthy battle with an autoimmune disease. Been making some noise here in 2025. And again, showing a pretty impressive physique. A pretty impressive physique. I actually think that he's improved. I didn't say it was. I actually said that. Well, what I said was that the ability to really fall off between the amount of time that was between prejudging and finals was unlikely. But I do think that there could have been improvements to be made in that short amount of time. And it looks like Wellington is a little bit sharper than he was at both prejudging and even just at the finals from what we could just see in the comparisons. Now, you do see a little more detail with Wellington being close up by himself, granted. But even still, I think that there are small improvements made by Wellington Nescau in terms of the detail that we're seeing in his physique. So, just things that he's lacking, unfortunately, when it comes to him cracking through that top three. This is not a physique that's ready to win a pro show yet, and that's exactly what we said about Quint Beastwood's physique last year. This is not a physique that's ready to win a pro show yet. He needs bigger arms. He needs a wider back. He needs better detail. He needs to control that lower abdominal section. But he might be able to put it together with some improvements. Possible. Roberto Buonomo coming on stage next. Guy that I had thought was going to be in that top five, but as of right now, it doesn't look like we are going to see him in the top five if we go off of what the judges where the judges put him in that last call out. We did not see him compared with the top five. Chris Miller swapped in. Good shot there for Blessing. That's a good one. I think that's a good shot. Yeah, Bonomo also lacking back development, so that's something that he does need to work on. But he definitely brings the conditioning. He brings the hardness. He brought a very good physique to the stage. Just needs to go back and make the improvements from a size standpoint, and I think he could do well. Version of Roberto Buonomo. Yes, Gianluca Di Lorenzo on stage now. Really good legs. Good shape to the legs. Really good. Yeah, let me show you a shot of Gianluca Di Lorenzo. Needs more detail, needs bigger arms. The quads have a good shape to the sweep in the front. Needs more hamstring development as well. More overall muscle. Not a bad competitor, though. Yeah, lacking muscle for sure. But not bad. Not bad. I think his midsection is done for. He's trying to hide it more, but you ain't fooling me. Yeah, exactly, right? Gianluca Di Lorenzo making his way off the stage. Quint Beastwood taking the stage now. And again, not necessarily walking away with this victory, but certainly a decisive victory, it's fair to say. Even when he gets up for his individual routine, like Quint Beastwood looks like he means business. No, he looks like he means business. He's taking this showing very, very seriously. We've seen him crack a smile in the show for sure, but he is all business right now. He is concentrating with everything that he has. One of the things heavily criticized out there is really the fact that we don't see a lot of creativity and routines anymore like we used to back years ago in the men's open division. But Beastwood, I think he's fairly well known for his posing. See, when you're an aesthetic bodybuilder, it's almost more crucial that you can pose very, very well. When it comes to the mass monsters, I don't find that's as much of a criteria necessarily for success. Like, look at Nick Walker. Nobody expects Nick to be like the best poser, you know? Not that aesthetic. But for a competitor like Quint Beastwood, that's essential. It's not scored. Why would you put tons of effort into it? Well, okay. There is an answer to that question, okay? No, it is not scored. However, it is judged, okay? You won't find a category on the judges' scorecards that says individual routine. So no, you don't get a score. But every time an athlete steps on the stage, from the second they walk on to the second they walk off, they are judged. And my understanding is that the judges' decisions may not be passed in until, in some instances, if it's really close, it could be until after the pose down when a show runs smoothly and the way it typically does, where you go, your individuals, then your confirmation round, then your pose down, and then your awards. Toronto Pro's not doing that, right? Their schedule is, well, there's been a couple of different schedules given out to athletes, is what I was told earlier. Bob mentioned it during the stream. So they're trying to find that balance. I mean, they must be finding it now because there's not many divisions left. But it is a weird thing to even to have the show format in this way. You're kind of all over the place. You're waiting on Dorian Haywood. They can't find Dorian Haywood? He's not on stage anyway. Stream's still running. Bonomo got to be disappointed. I had him over Blessing. Yeah, he was disappointed for sure, but I don't think he had any chance against Blessing. Doesn't have enough muscle. It's not scored. So that's why you would put tons of work into it. And the fans recognize when you have a really good routine. They do. The fans do recognize when you have a really good routine. Quint Beastwood had a pretty good routine. He had a pretty good routine. He knows how to pose for his physique as well. So he's really good at that. I got to get Bob back on to talk about this nightmare of a show. I'll be interested to see what Bob has to say about it, for sure. Yep, I'll definitely be interested. So again, Quint Beastwood. He showed up, improved, and at his best. So he's going to take home the victory here. If it's not straight firsts on the judges' scorecards, I'm going to be shocked. No, I will be shocked. Ridiculous version of Quint Beastwood. Showing us that he is not only improved, but can make substantial improvements. Quint Beastwood last year did not have a back to speak of. Quint Beastwood last year was criticized for his back. This year, you can definitely say that he brought up his weak point being his back. Still needs to bring up his quads. That's the weak point. But the back has improved. You know, the back has improved. Still some more work to do, but this shows the prospect that he can make that progress now. It does. It absolutely does. Ridiculous. Like I said, Quint Beastwood poses for his physique. He knows how to pose for his physique. Not everybody can pull off a twisting back double bicep. Okay? Arnold Schwarzenegger could do it. Wesley Vissers can do it. And Quint Beastwood can do it. This is how it's done. Not everybody can pull it off. Very impressed by Quint Beastwood. I love a great routine, but I also don't blame a bodybuilder for not putting forth effort into his routine. I get it. But there could be a benefit. It all depends on if you think it's going to, benefit you or not. If you don't think it's going to, then don't do it. Dorian Haywood on stage. Definitely an improved version of Dorian Haywood. Yeah, I think Dorian should be very happy with this version. Dorian Haywood brought the conditioning, decent level of fullness, good side leg. I'll say that. Much better than what we saw at the Masters Olympia. Much better. Looks like Dorian Haywood's music cut out on him. Not bad. Not bad for a Masters competitor, especially. Dorian Haywood. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Hangman Kim coming out now. Korean competitor. Got up pretty good. Not bad. Could use a little bit more conditioning, and I think overall size. Got up fairly respectable though. Definitely needs to be shown more detail. More muscle overall. I think he's a shorter guy. Who won the 212? We don't know yet. They haven't even had 212 on stage. They're doing the individual routines for the men's open right now. Yeah, Dorian's got a decent amount of mass, right? So he can pull off the mandatories pretty well. Had a couple of decent poses in there though for for his own accentuation for sure. Yep, he definitely did. Chris Miller coming on stage now. Cracking into that top 5 supposedly, potentially. We'll say potentially. A little bit slight in the legs. That's the thing with Chris Miller. Doesn't quite have that size in the legs, but bringing good conditioning to this show without question. Really good upper body, I think, overall. Lacking in the triceps a little bit, but extremely round shoulders, and decent arm proportion. Actually, those shoulders even look a little bit suspect. I don't know about you guys, but they might be a little sus. Maybe. They're round. Man, they're super round. That's the only reason I say that. What do you guys think? Yeah, let's see. Shoulders a little suspicious, maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe a little. Eric Wood taking the stage now. Yeah, Eric Wood making a huge splash in the 2026 season so far. After taking a couple of seasons off, he actually became a father. He's running his own business. I believe it's a car wash business, if I'm not mistaken. I know he was involved in that at one point. But look, showing us that he can come back and really make pretty fantastic improvements. Working with Chris Aceto, there's definitely still some work to be done. More overall size would really benefit Eric Wood. His aesthetics are just fantastic, though. If he just put on some more mass and kept that midsection, this guy is going to be a contender to continue to make top 3 at pro shows in the future. He's not quite ready to win one yet. They are bringing out the men's open now for the final decisions, ladies and gentlemen. Men's open are taking the stage for the awards. They're actually not waiting to the very end. That's incredible. Was not expecting that. So we got the men's open taking the stage. And we will get the awards for the top 5 right here, right now. Last chance to get in your top 5, you guys. Who do you got? Okay, 5th place, Wellington Niskow. Wellington takes 5th. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody that was compared to top 3, top 2, now dropping to 5th place. Fourth place, Chris Miller. So Chris Miller edging out Wellington Niskow. Certainly not something that anybody had predicted going into this show. This was very surprising. Third place, Blessing Awodobu taking 3rd. So That's one that I actually did call. I figured Blessing was going to take third just based on what I was seeing going into this show. He did seem like he was making improvements from both a size and fullness and conditioning standpoint. So, Blessing taking third place. All I have to say is congratulations to Blessing. I was not expecting him to show up as good as he did after competing now 5 times in one season, the first half of the season. Congratulations on third. The winner of the Toronto Pro is we've got Quint Beastwood and Eric Woods standing in the center. And the winner, Bodybuilding Open champion, Quint Beastwood officially wins the 2026 Toronto Pro and punches his ticket to the Olympia. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long journey for Quint Beastwood. After 5 attempts to make it to the Olympia last year, finishing second place 4 times. Absolutely devastating. And I will say, the third and fourth show, he was defeated by Urs Kalaczynski, okay? And Quint Beastwood was expecting to go and win that third and fourth show quite handily. But Urs Kalaczynski, last minute showing up at those 2 shows, again, 4 second place finishes in 2025. Now, earning his Olympia qualification on his first attempt. And again, a very, very well-deserved victory for Quint Beastwood. He showed up here marginally improved from the last time we saw him on stage. This is an Olympia-worthy physique where last year we could not necessarily say that he had that caliber of a physique. So congratulations to Quint Beastwood. Absolutely nailed it at this show. Question now being, will he continue to compete? Only time will tell. But I think he might. Something's telling me that he might. Fantastic victory for Quint Beastwood. Well-deserved. And a very well-deserved second place for Eric Wood as well. That knee swelling for Blessing? Maybe. I don't know. Quint Beastwood, ladies and gentlemen. Bob now interviewing Quint Beastwood. Yeah, me and Bob were discussing this when I had him on the channel recently. Just there's if anybody deserves this, not just for what he went through last year, but for what he is bringing this year, Quint Beastwood deserves to make it back to the Olympia. He said that he was going to bring everything in a pre-show interview. He said that he was going to bring all of the things that we didn't see last year. And we certainly did see that based on this version. Bob's asking Beastwood if he's going to keep competing. There you go. Quint Beastwood confirming that he's going to shut it down until the Olympia. And I think that's a great move, honestly. I think that is a great move. Quint Beastwood has the formula Clint Beastwood has the formula. All he needs to do is replicate this when it comes to the Olympia. That's all he needs to do. If he does that, then he will have a very successful first Olympia showing. How competitive will he be? Well, in the words of Eric Wood, Eric Wood. Is it that late? It's 3.5 hours. Starting to get pumped. The words of Eric Janicki, let's let him enjoy the victory, and we will look at doing the comparison aspect of can he make it into the top 10 at a later time. Congratulations to Quint Beastwood. This victory in and of itself deserves to be celebrated individually because this is just a feel-good story in bodybuilding as well, right, you guys? And you don't often see a guy that needs to make such, marked improvements, make them in 1 year either. Hell, Regan's been trying for... How long has Regan been trying for? Years. Just doesn't quite get it. Now, Regan's made it to the Olympia, but this is substantial. These are substantial improvements. Quint Beastwood is becoming the bodybuilder that we all want him to become. Not everyone meets expectations. Not everybody is able to make the improvements to meet expectations. That word in bodybuilding that we always go back to, potential. The most dangerous word in bodybuilding. Mark my words. It is the most dangerous word, okay? Not everybody meets their potential. You even say that word in my comment sections on videos, and you got guys that'll jump all over you. And understandably so. Quint Beastwood meeting his potential. What do you guys think? Get to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Seems that the chat was also correct. 62% said that Quint Beastwood would win the show. Now, 21% at Wellington Niscal, taking 5th place in this lineup. Not what I predicted, having Chris Miller ahead of him. I honestly would have had Roberto Bonomo ahead of Chris Miller. No, I would have. I'm not sure what the judges were seeing there. But regardless, that is the decision that they came to. Results of the poll, again, 62% for Quint Beastwood. No one's expecting him to place well at his first Olympia, but he's very young and has time. Plus, it'll be great to finally see him there. I agree 100%. He could make it into the top 10. That would be a huge win, and we'll see. We'll see. Everyone's waiting for Beastwood to make that Samson jump. That's a good comparison. You're right. He is kind of put up on that level. Except the thing is, nobody saw Samson coming. Everybody has had eyeballs on Quint Beastwood for the last few seasons. Nobody saw Samson coming. Samson showed up and he was, the first call out at the Olympia, and everyone was like, the hell is this guy? Never heard of him, Within the certain context, you guys go, okay? But Quinton, a relative known competitor, quite popular. Where does Blessing go from here? That's a really good question. Where does Blessing Awodabu go from here? Taking 3rd place at the Toronto Pro? Well, you got to look at what's upcoming. What could Blessing compete in moving forward that would either progress his physique or get him the Olympia qualification? I think at this point, you got to shut it down. 5 shows in the first half of the season. Although he did bring his best, I think this is a decent note to go out on, knowing that there's still improvements to be made. He would have satisfied his sponsors by, I would think anyway, he would have satisfied his sponsors by placing well in a competitive lineup and bringing improvements to the stage, right? Those sponsors should be happy. If his sponsors are not happy until he gets another Olympia qualification, okay. He's still 5 shows in. He can go back and now try to make the improvements again that he needs from a muscularity standpoint. Do nothing but triceps and quads, well, legs. Do nothing but triceps and legs. That's what Blessing's routine should be. 3 days a week triceps, 3 days a week legs. Run that for 8 weeks or something like that. I'm just couldn't do that. But that should be the majority of his concentration. Those two, making improvements there. That's where Blessing should go from here. The midsection as well, yes. The midsection, the legs, and the lack of triceps. That's what Blessing needs to improve on. Doesn't need to improve his posing. Posing is great. He can bring the conditioning. It's muscularity. That's it. That's what Blessing needs. Ugh. Run out of water. But again, congratulations to Quint Beastwood for taking home a very impressive first place victory at the 2026 Toronto Pro. Again, the show did run late, no question. It's unfortunate, but it happened by a number of hours. Probably avoidable. I digress. Still a very exciting lineup, and I really enjoyed this one, you guys. I really enjoyed this one. Now, look, Classic Physique is still on stage. 212 is still on stage. This show being 3 or 4 hours behind schedule has put me 3 or 4 hours behind schedule. But I wanted to stick it out with you guys and at least get to the men's. And I would have stuck it out until the end if I had to. But we've got the results for the men's open. Again, Quint Beastwood taking first. We've got Eric Wood with a very impressive second place. Blessing Obodobu taking third place, showing a renewed physique after his 5th show of the season. Fourth place, an unexpected Chris Miller, bumping ahead of Wellington Niskow in 5th place. Not something that people had predicted. Not something that people had predicted. But that is your top 5 for the 2026 Toronto Pro. Final comments. Of course, Smith, thanks for covering. Listen, thank you for being here, man. I'm really glad to be back on YouTube and, being able to chop it up with you guys again. Something that was well needed. Well needed again, for sure. Join the live, bro. Xavier, you are the man, dude. Xavier Wills, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it doesn't get any better. Genuine good dude. Thanks for watching, man. Are you staying live for the other classes? No, I'm done, man. Like I said, this show being 3 or 4 hours behind schedule has put me 3 or 4 hours behind schedule. I can't be up till midnight. I got to get up and run a company. But this was definitely worth putting in the time for, just to see Quint Beastwood and follow along with this show. Like, not just Quint Beastwood, but Blessing showing up improved. Eric Wood showing up as we've seen him, pushing some of these guys that are like really aesthetic bodybuilders, showing us that Eric could be a pro show winner in the future if he goes back and makes improvements. If you can consistently finish within the top 3, especially in competitive lineups, which I think this was, Eric could win a pro show someday. Yeah, Eric could win a pro show someday. Wellington Niskow and Chris Miller, surprising to say the least. I would have had Roberto Bonomo in the 4th place spot personally, if anything, but that's me. Yeah, give us a thumbs up in the chat. Thanks, Xavier. I appreciate you, man. Why is everything but what I want to drag? There we go. Appreciate you, dude. What's the other live chat screen that I'm seeing? This one or this one? This one. There we go. Let's do this. That's better. Appreciate everybody that stuck around for the Toronto Pro. Again, Quint Beastwood is your 2026 Toronto Pro champion. Very, very impressive. Very impressive. I do encourage you guys to stick around for the classic and for the 212. But over 3.5 hours in, guys, that's it for me. I'm gonna get up and train tomorrow morning. And again, when I didn't see anybody else doing a Toronto Pro live stream, I was like, man, jump. Like, even if we weren't going to really see a lot, it's good that we can follow along and still talk bodybuilding when these shows happen. You know, that's something that I think is still very important for myself and the channel moving forward. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But look, I'm going to sign off for now. Shout out again, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. Appreciate you being here, my man. Be show tomorrow. And appreciate all you guys being in the chat. You know, it was a fantastic show, and I really enjoyed being able to chop it up with you guys, as always. So thank you guys for being here. But that's going to do it for me in this one. So appreciate you guys stopping by the live stream. That is going to do it for the 2026 Toronto Pro. Quint Beastwood taking home the win and the Olympia qualification. That's it for me this time, you guys, and I will catch